Oh,
Take it too long.
take it too long.
Must have did it wrong.
Get it wrong. Oh yeah. So did you hear in New York, Muslims are trying to ban dogs as pets. You know, there's a Muslim mayor now.
I can't seem to accomplish the
Oh, you just got to look at press up, and now you can just.
Back out 56 pass, I wasn't prepared to translate that, as I was doing that little tease.
Oh, that's
That
right.
little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
I did that, and that's
See, that's
exactly
what I
what it
said.
did, and it went all went away, but it never,
Oh.
She said she thought
but
it
it
was
never
a bug.
switched.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
But I'd never heard it.
Around.
I'd never heard it
about.
said. I'd always
About.
seen the mark, but never heard
Yeah.
it said. And then it sounded
We're
stupid
already
when
on
I said it.
HTML.
Violence.
Hercules.
G-E-com. I mean,
Is the house rocking yet?
Well, Allison should know.
what is internet?
We are a couple of geniuses.
Put us together. You got half a brain.
I did that.
When it comes on, and it
Join me
says,
now.
program was not turned off proper. You know, console was not turned off properly. I did that.
She won't leave me alone.
That's a good thing.
You can't be mad too mad.
All right,
but I
guys.
still
Happy Thursday.
Still questionable shit. Like she's like she's not very like bright because she ain't from.
Well, because she's a woman.
But
We
it's
have to
true.
fix the DOJ.
A
What the
naive
fuck she
one.
said? She started reading a
Because
message to
two
me
main
yesterday
important
about
things that are
her
right.
ex.
One thing that they are
Talking about he's on. I guess he's over the
Yes,
road.
I said because she's a woman.
I guess he's over the road.
Hopefully that gets us 50 subscribers.
Over the road or whatever. Talking about I'll be there in 2 weeks. Your nigga better not be there or something. Like he lives there? Like he don't live here. Like bitch, you got a no contact order, don't you? Your probation shit. So you what? Do I gotta call your probation officer if you can't fucking? You can't muster up the words to fucking tell this dude to kick rocks?
The margin is decisive.
I would contact you. Oh.
Are you to contact that one dude for my shit?
Huh?
That one dude.
What one dude?
To get his truck or whatever?
Yeah, man. What are you talking? Why are you worried about that right now?
Because I'm always worried about it.
I gotta go at 10 o'clock to go meet up with them people. As soon as I'm with Rick, I'm fucking on dude's ass because I can call him from Rick's phone and he's gonna come.
Alright.
It's about money. The nigga's broke.
About that money. That thing, did you see that thing was like eating itself?
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
you
I
see
was
it like
watching.
wrapping around each other. I was like,
Yeah.
I was watching that thing. That was.
Oh, you created a wormhole on accident because you don't realize you're doing the magic. That's how they need to resurrect that old dude. When he said the blessing. Yeah, I was like the magic.
Well, guess what? What happens when the light hits?
Colossus, world's largest AI data center. It is what it seems. Rosie O'Donnell's back.
See, look at this one has Madden. It says Madden.
Wait, what?
On the same Madden, but on the first. On the first. On the first screen, it had Madden.
Yeah, I
It
saw it.
had Madden. I was like, I seen Tiger Woods.
That's trouble.
I seen Tiger Woods on.
That I think is questionable.
A new
Yeah.
vision will govern our land.
Whether they got Madden on there.
It's
This
going
basically
to
says
be
it has
only
Super Nintendo, Atari,
America
30,000 retro games.
America
So you can play games
first.
like Smith,
Super Mario, Sonic.
and it comes with two controllers.
I don't know if it comes with multiple Maddens. I seen Tiger Woods on one of those too, like a 2004, 6 or something. You know,
Who's making it?
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
I have no idea.
Everybody's having a wonderful.
Yeah, it's time to give our kids a little taste of the games we grew up playing. Check it out. You don't need any Wi-Fi. All you do is put this back. If you like retro games,
Another one, Mario 64.
I have something. This is a PS5 on a USB. Comes with 2 wireless
It says this is PS. It says PS5. It says this is PS. Or I swear that's what it says.
I've been anxious to do this because there's a good way to do this and a bad way to do this.
Click the
And sometimes you can present this a
60,000
certain
games.
way.
Click the link below to get yours now.
Well, it's history.
If you like
and it's
retro
mine.
games like
I can
Mario
do
Kart
it.
64, I have something for you. This is the PS5 on a USB.
Origin of the Nations. But I noticed online,
PS5 on a
when you
USB
this
is what
chapter,
it's saying.
they call it the Table of the Nations. And I
And
guess
what are you
it's
playing
Can
it
you
on?
buy a
PC.
PS5 on a
kind of looks like a
USB?
table when we map it out.
So that means you gotta put it on a PC.
Oh, I didn't know you cannot buy a PS5 console on this game. You only use the experience.
The PS5 games must be purchased from authorized retailers or the PlayStation Store.
That's just fucking.
Do they have something called a PS5 on a?
That's for bootlickers. Because they're like, there's so much
USB.
I mean, there's a possibility you can put it on, but that'd be a big stick. Be like fucking Franklin Roosevelt.
Yes, you can USB external
With
drives.
USB external drive with a PlayStation 5. However, they function differently with PlayStation 5 games compared to older PlayStation 4 games.
Jungle Juice.
Do they have USB drives with like 40,000 retro games?
You can find USB drives with over 40,000 retro games. These plug-and-play devices, sometimes even with over 43,000 games, often include emulators for consoles like PlayStation 1, N64, NES, and SNES, as well as arcade games.
64 gigabytes or 12 gigabytes. There's thousands of rounds covering 80s to 90s classic games. Yeah.
Today's message is Canaanites. Everybody say Canaanites. Who are the Canaanites? Well, if you've read through the Bible, you'll know this, okay? There was the flood of Noah, right? In the book.
This is the one that we saw because it looks like PlayStation controllers. The only thing that has made me not kind of pull the trigger on it is, what if my controller breaks? But for $40, bro. If that's 2 controllers and something's on a lot for $40, dude. How does it? That's throwaway. That's $40. You know what I'm saying?
Because you hit the next, you hit the next tax bracket. Huh?
I did.
It's never throwaway.
$40 is.
I hate that.
40
You sound
bucks.
like Ken though.
$40 is cheaper than one of these controllers.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
fine. That's fine.
I mean,
Still not throwaway. Doesn't mean, because that means in 1970 everything was throwaway. To me, it still holds its value. In fact, it's a better value.
I'm just saying if it takes a shit, I wouldn't be broken because I paid $200 or $100 or $50. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the
$40.
chances are you buy a brand new PlayStation 5.
Man, every PlayStation I've ever had took a shit.
How do you know you can get that thing? How do you know it's not just a plastic box with nothing?
It could be.
You know,
It could be.
I've seen where you never watch where
It could
people
be.
order shit.
Look
Where's
up-
that from?
Look up
What
all reviews.
website?
I have no idea.
What website was it? Hosting.
Retro Game Fund, Hyper, Walmart, different ones. You get a different kind of
I want to call Walmart and see if they have that.
That's not. It's not that one. It's different. It looks more Xbox controllers. You know, I'm just familiar with the PlayStation controllers. I've seen them both. Like through these videos, both styles with different controls. But I'm familiar with the PlayStation controls, so I like the PlayStation controller style better. So I lean to kind of go that direction, just because.
No, I would call them and ask them if they got it. Just because it says Walmart doesn't mean shit.
Correct.
They can redirect you to a third-party website as soon as you click on it.
Sure.
And that's
There you
what
go, right here. Sponsored stores. Well, I'm not saying that that's it. Tap on it.
Now search that web.
I don't know what it was.
4K fucking HD bullshit. Whatever.
2x 4K retro video. 2x 4K retro video. X2 4K retro video.
Giant Reaper
X
brand. Giant
2.
What do you think? She's following this thing. Actually, should be an adversary. Okay. TV been watching me since fucking her shitty past. Oh no. She used to suck on hard. Oh Lord. Emergency address.
Link below to get yours.
Is that fireworks?
Boom.
I
Yeah,
didn't
but
hear
she got them bags, she got them both there, it looks like. Top and bottom.
Texas. It was coming out from. Oh no, got to go. And Google told me it was a lizard, and we know daggone well this ain't no lizard, y'all. And where I work, there is no babies to be having no toys.
Is it available?
Oh.
Man, what's good with the collection?
They could
I know we
also
back with
do it
another
in
video,
the store.
another reaction. I appreciate everybody.
Look what they got down. Look what they got down there.
If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. I know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is
$225.
Now that's not.
You're halfway to a PS5.
You're right, exactly.
And if you're getting fucking
content.
John
Appreciate you
fucking
watching TV, whatever the case is. I
I
wish
mean,
it was
if that's
7.
fucking
Might be a trigger warning or
600,
two.
no, 65,000
games.
games.
I seen some comments.
65,000
Bro, you
games.
gotta speak up on
You
certain
type in
topics. I'm like, bro, I
towers,
speak
man.
up as much as I can, and sometimes I can't talk on
65,000.
It's probably like
You know what I mean?
50 that you're gonna play.
What's 5 minutes times 65,000?
Everything you say, I say all the time is
Even
real.
if you spend
How many
5 minutes
times
on a game.
What's 5 minutes times
And then
65,000?
y'all don't get notified when I drop a video. You know what I mean? Like,
225 days.
so y'all gotta bear with me.
And that would be
I know
non-stop.
what it is, man. Let's get straight.
5 minutes on a button changing that
Video,
game.
man. Let's go.
I just got
How many days? 265?
225 days. 225.6
So you could probably pull it off in a year. Dude, you have to video record yourself non-stop. Just pull.
That's it. That's what you're talking about. Only 5 minutes. Take the 5 minutes to probably upload. So, and if you double that, if you figure if you go 10 minutes, you're talking about 400.
I'm funky, America.
450 days.
450.
Are we playing? Is it-
Yeah. Generally, the idea there.
This thing's been clogged on me for the last 24 hours.
Clogged?
I haven't been able to get a hit out of it.
You know what I've been doing? Like this one started clogging. I blew into it.
I tried
And as soon as I
that.
did it, I inhaled and it popped it.
I tried that.
Because it's coming up the chain.
I turned around and I did it like this. I blew it to the bottom.
Yeah.
I was able to crack it. And I saw the light. I was like, hell yeah. And then I was able to get it. I was able to get 2 hits last night. I did it.
I said it.
Yeah.
His days are numbered. And there were rappers there from all over the country. They were invited to the home of Clive Davis, along with members of the CIA, FBI, which they didn't understand why the government should.
Where's that fumble, nigga? I just popped that nigga. That was Jacobs.
Private presidents recognized secrets at that meeting.
The Packers, yeah.
And they were telling these rappers, you need to create songs
Did you?
talking about killing police, calling black women thieves,
Lindsay, are you friends with Lindsay on that? Yeah.
You know what? None of the people were listening to me. You know what's funny too?
you know, I don't know.
They all thought Ken was like them. They all thought dude was a fucking.
African chain running.
You got to talk
just
some
the
shit.
gang stuff, and I can recall going to like liquor stores or different places doing red rats. It's like a football program.
In Tel Aviv 6 hours ago. You just signed up here, and this guy looks awfully familiar walking around.
Top 10 wide receivers in
In the news
history,
lately,
according
right?
to
Slapped
this
beard,
list
long
here.
hair, and some glasses on him, so that nobody
Only
can
one
recognize
white.
him.
Oh,
And if
no,
you'll believe me,
no,
I'm
is that two
disapprove.
white?
This was released by CBS News
Yeah.
today. A recording image that was shown in the 15-minute span that all
You can name
security
it.
cameras
Either
went
one
out
of
the
them.
night he lost
What?
his life.
Two
Newly
top 10
released
wide receivers in this
FBI
list.
analysis of the footage of
In this
Flash
list.
Forum, which
Yeah.
appears to be going to the
And
LTR
two of them are
center,
white.
could possibly
Think
be
you
an
can name one of
inmate
them?
escorted to the tier,
Top
the
10
same tier where he
Top
was
10,
held.
according to his
Further
list.
analysis from
Two
an
are
independent
white.
source, it's
Two
possible
of
someone
them
carrying
are
an
white
inmate
on
in
this
her
list.
bedding up the stairs.
I'll give you the top two that is called out for the top two wide receivers. Top two is saying Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and then it goes on from there. But then in this list there's two white guys that are in
YouTube
this
channel that
bitch.
people are talking about. He made Minecraft video. But back to this photo. Do you
I could probably
think
give you.
that
I could
that's
probably
him?
give you the. I give
Mentioned
you
his
the teams
girlfriend in
too.
2023
I don't
saying
give a
this
fuck.
in the present
One of them is the Green Bay Packers.
So even the Star of David, that was never a symbol for Judaism until Sedatian Sevi.
Did you change the Packers
1666.
playbook?
This is when he declared himself the Messiah.
My friend?
And that symbol
Or no?
is actually from
I was going to ask you. I was
Solomon.
going to
It has like,
I was going to tell you
mystic
to do
power.
that before.
No.
That represents Judaism. So if you go on Wikipedia, it'll tell you that it's Kabbalistic. So they're wearing the Star of David. The Jews that I went to school with, do I think that they're practicing orgies and but no, of course not. The Reformed Jews are not doing that I went to school with. They're being told you wear this because the Holocaust happened, and you know you should wear this symbol. It's a symbol of who you are. And I am challenging them to learn more because it does go back to Baal worship. You're exactly correct when you say that. They don't know that no more than
Yeah, it's
I
Raphael.
knew things about Black
It's a
history.
guy
You
called
know what you're
Raphael.
told. We have to all become more studious on the topic of theology, is what I think.
Everybody goes, it's religion. It's religion. Motherfuckers gonna burn in hell. And they're gonna remember saying it's a religion. It's a religion.
That's a good ass question. I mean, we know.
Who else
That
thinks
was
we
that
need a
motherfucker?
gigantic
That was-
investigation on Child Protective Services and whoever runs the whole Amber Alert deal?
Excuse the noise, but anyway, I'm at work the other night, y'all, and I'm getting ready to clean up, and I come across this. And this is not no lizard, by the way. I even put it in Google, like took a picture and tried to Google it, like, because I know I'm like, I'm tripping. I must be tripping because this ain't what I think it is.
It looks like a baby dinosaur.
And Google told me it was a lizard, and we know daggone well this ain't no lizard, y'all. And where I work, there is no babies to be having no toys. This is not a toy. It was actually dried up dead, y'all. Look at this.
My running
I am
back
really
did do
caught
that.
up
Check
and
this out.
don't know what to say about this one.
All
But
right, check this
this
out.
is
My running back.
interesting. I'm not sure if it's a bug. It definitely looks like this little dinosaur.
Running back came, got his ass.
What did she
Okay,
find?
I saw
Did
it.
she
And
find
I kept him in the
just
block.
some
Yeah.
creature,
I
some
kept him in the
bug
block. I don't think
that's,
that was his initial.
undocumented?
His
Do
initial
we know what
goal.
this is? Maybe it just looks like a dinosaur from this perspective. What could this be? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Unanswered
I don't know. I
Universe.
want to see what he was supposed to do. Oh, he was supposed to
She
do.
should have picked
The
it.
veil. Do y'all think the veil is being lifted? That's why we able to see crazier shit. Because once upon a time we was all yelling, the veil's being lifted. Y'all
That's
we
what I
gonna be
was
seeing
trying
some
to
crazy things,
I
and
thought
then
it was-
we start seeing some crazy things, and the first thing in every single comment, from mine to Instagram to TikTok, is AI. How the hell we gonna yell the veil's being lifted, we gonna see some crazy shit, and then we see some crazy shit, and then we come up with a whole new thing and be like, hey bro, this shit is AI, that ain't real. I thought we said that the veil was being lifted. I don't know, bro.
Who
Y'all
said
gotta
that?
let me
Who
know.
said that?
Tell me, am I tripping? Because it sound like it sound like some people, it sound like we just crazy at that point. Or delusional at that point. And I don't mean no disrespect. I'm just calling it for what I see. Let me know y'all thoughts.
That is a wrap. That Cat is Rabbit. You have now hit the spooky side of the algorithm. So before we get into today's topic, hi, I'm Stephanie, and I talked about the Family Strange. So imagine that this is like the school night,
That was
and you're
cool.
sitting there rehearsing maybe like a history project, and you're recording this for school purposes. It's part of your homework, right? Seems like a normal weekday night. You're in the living room, you're on the couch, you have a loved one recording you, and your dog is behind you grabbing something off the couch. And actually, side note, this talented little pup climbed up that couch. I am so proud of you, by the way. I am so proud of you. But everything feels ordinary until later when you watch the footage back. You realize that something has been watching you through the window. And this is the part that always gets to me because my dog, anytime, he'll be growling at the window at night in the dining room. And I can't see anything, and I'm praying that the motion light will get it. And usually it's like a squirrel or a cat or something like that. So, then I go back to feeling safe and like, okay, that's normal. But that's not what happened here. In fact, I'm also noticing that the dog didn't react. Maybe the dog was very focused on the toy. Maybe the dog didn't notice it. But we're going to play it back again.
The Taiga Border Forest, which is located in Russia, northern Canada, and...
Now, some people think it's a statue or maybe Bigfoot.
This group sent cameras down to the bottom of Lake Tahoe and found concrete structures, maybe from a past civilization.
At the bottom of Lake Tahoe, there's so many areas I've seen kind of per accident, like just looking around the lake, they're amazing. When we drop cameras,
Ain't Lake Tahoe part of a fucking dam?
That could be made. Here is something that is pretty unique, and I think that's pretty cool too. 9-degree rocks, those big cliff faces. If I would have been able to see this on a live view camera at the time, I would have spent a lot more time checking this out.
That's so fucking cool. I never seen that. I never looked on that side. Or I never.
You get a couple 90 degrees in nature.
Write this plate on. Oh, this ain't even got a package.
A 90 degree in one dimension, a 90 degree in another,
Yeah, but you can recreate it.
with two more like complementary faces, both at 90 degrees. I think it's actually pretty cool because it's kind of unique. I'm not saying that
Can't
it's
remember the
man-made,
play.
but it's almost a statistical anomaly to have that
Remember
many
the
things
play if you
going on
want
at once.
to recreate it.
This is one of the
Eyebrow.
places that I did note the GPS of, and I want to go and see this. I want to go check out this area again. I do know for certain that there are a lot of things below 1,000 feet in the water that the public would actually have their minds blown down there.
I want to know what he means by that. He means something.
Okay, people are freaking out right now, and rightly so, because the NFL tweeted this in September, a photo, a bunch of teams, a bunch of players, in front of the trophy they're going to win, 32 teams with February dreams who are so back, right? And when you look at it, it just looks kind of like a cool graphic, nothing really hiding in plain sight here, right? And the NFL definitely isn't scripted, right? Well, if you zoom in,
Doesn't feel like this movie.
In this episode of Cops Live,
Figure out how to.
Welcome, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. You have the floor.
Well, yeah, Marco Rubio just dropped a bombshell. While all the mainstream media has been focused on that Savannah Guthrie kidnapping story, the Trump administration basically just unleashed an earthquake, and no one covered it this weekend. Secretary of State Marco Rubio this weekend traveled to Germany.
It's just me and you. You took a field goal? Yeah. If you want to start scoring touchdowns, all that fucking nonsense. Give it to me, I'll score for you. Yeah. Hell, boys, tell them let's
Security conference and delivered arguably the most important speech in America, at least the most important American speech in the last 30 years, in my opinion. Calling on Europe to join Trump's New World Order or face the consequences. You're either with us or you're against us. He was nice about it, but he was not ambiguous. Rubio admitted to NATO allies that playtime is over right now. A new world order is being written by the United States, and you're either with us or you're against us. He previewed the speech when he landed on the tarmac.
The world is changing very fast right in front of us. Yeah. The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era of geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us to sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be.
Rubio is saying, look, when we look at the world, we want the West to thrive again, and the leaders that you've elected here in Europe are total losers who are managing the decline of Europe, particularly in Germany, right where he was, like talking right to their faces. You're doing it on purpose here in Germany. We'd like you to join us in this new world order, but of course, if you want to continue on this liberal, destructive path that you're on, then we are done with you. He's telling them that NATO is a transaction between countries, that NATO is only worth supporting if you are worth defending. And right now, you're not worth defending. You're declining fast under stupid policies, and NATO as a transaction isn't worth paying for. We recently spoke to Richard Werner, one of the most brilliant economists in the world, who said that, oh, it's not a fallacy. Germany is collapsing.
I mean, Germany, the economy is collapsing. It is really in dire straits. Other European economies are not much better. And so, you know, this all adds up to really policy-imposed, self-imposed disaster upon disaster.
Rubio went on to slam the liberal globalist agenda of a borderless world, a globalist's dream of mass immigration, countries handing over their sovereignty to these globalists in Brussels.
It was foolish. It was a foolish but voluntary transformation of our economy that left us dependent on others for our needs and dangerously vulnerable to crisis.
And look, if Nancy Guthrie is truly missing, and this isn't just some Jesse Smollett story all over again, then prayers to that family for sure. But the media obsession, like all over Fox News, wall-to-wall coverage over Savannah Guthrie?
Law enforcement swarming a Tucson home overnight, just 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's place.
Oh, why shouldn't the law swarm for anybody?
It doesn't. Meanwhile, Rubio's speech is the story. Rubio's point isn't subtle. The rules that govern the world are dead. He told the world that the old world is gone, and that we're in a new era of geopolitics. And he admitted that these are the same conversations that he's been having privately with allies behind closed doors.
To me, the way he said it though is weird. But you remember I showed you that video of the Silence of the Lambs, right?
Are accelerating. That Rubio is, even though it really driving this big posture change.
So now
we can no longer place the so-called global order above the vital interests of our people and our nations. We do not need to abandon the system of international cooperation we authored. We don't need to dismantle the global institutions of the old order that together we built. But these must be reformed.
But now here's where this gets real. When Rubio says the New World Order, he's talking leverage. He's telling Europe, your free ride is over. If you want American protection, you're going to have to start acting like a civilization that wants to survive. And he wasn't hiding the ultimatum. In Munich, Rubio said the U.S. wants Europe with us. But the U.S. is prepared to rebuild the global world order if necessary, and will do it alone.
And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference. And it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe.
Okay, so what does any of this have to do with your money, the US dollar, and China? Well, it has everything to do with it. Because the backbone of the old world order wasn't just NATO, it was the US dollar as the reserve currency. The thing that everybody settles trade in, parks savings in. Right now, the Trump team is signaling the strong dollar religion is over. The dollar has weakened in Trump's second term. The Trump world is treating it as a feature, not a bug, because it makes U.S. exports cheaper. Now, the Wall Street Journal this weekend highlighted Trump's plan that a strong U.S. dollar is essentially killing us. In order for us to compete, we need a weakened U.S. dollar. That's the message coming out of the Trump administration. So here's the uncomfortable part of this story. That looks like copying China's playbook, which is exactly what it is. China kept the yuan cheap for decades on purpose. Turns itself into an export powerhouse. Pulled industry out of the United States. Used the surplus to build power, to build up their massive military. And Washington let it happen.
Wasn't nobody fucking.
So Trump and Rubio come in and say, fine, we'll devalue strategic. We'll force reshoring of manufacturing in the United States. We're going to treat supply chains like national security. But the second you start signaling you don't care about a strong dollar, then the world hears it. Reuters reports China's treasury holdings have dropped to their lowest level since 2008. Look at the sell-off. It's crazy. Chinese regulators have been urging banks to curb exposure to U.S. treasuries. The translation here, they're stepping back from funding America. So now it's on us to fund ourselves, for those treasuries to come back home and for those to go into American pension plans. But it is a mess. $39 trillion in debt in the United States. So China's not going to do what we did for them under Clinton, Obama, and Bush. We subsidized them. We moved our manufacturing overseas, helped them build up their massive military.
Honestly, we built their military. We built China's military with the money that we lost for so many years getting ripped off.
He's absolutely right. I mean, however you feel about Trump, he's correct on that. At the same time that Trump and Rubio are pushing this weaker U.S. dollar, Xi Jinping is pushing the opposite message. He wants the yuan treated like a real reserve currency. China is now publicly talking about a stronger currency with global reserve status, and they're already implementing it. So this is
same
just
sound
talk.
comes on every morning.
And analysts point out that the trade-offs here, China would have to loosen capital controls, deepen markets to pull this off. But the direction is clear. More trade settled in yuan and less dependence on the U.S. dollar. And the Chinese are reading the United States like a book right now. Top Chinese commentators on television are laughing at Trump's foreign policy this weekend. And people are sharing this on social media, making fun of Trump, saying Trump is pretending to be strong, but really the United States is incredibly weak inside. They say we lost the trade war. They say we lost the tech war. We failed in Ukraine, and now we're grasping at straws, invading Venezuela for their oil. Basically, the Chinese are saying, you lost.
维持全球霸权已力不从心，被迫收缩战略焦点，转而聚焦西半球。
Here's the part that everybody should be freaking out about. This week, China started accelerating its dumping of U.S. treasuries. Not a rumor, not hyperbole. Multiple reports say Chinese regulators have been telling big domestic banks to curb their exposure to U.S. government debt. Get rid of it. Limit any kind of new buying. And if they're overweight in any kind of U.S. debt, start trimming it, cut it, lose it. And this isn't happening in a vacuum. China's treasury holdings have already fallen to around $682 billion. That's the lowest level since 2008. And it's been sliding for months and accelerating.
I should have already had it.
And remember, currency is only one level. China is also tightening its rare earth
tightened their
export
shit up, bro.
controls.
So it ain't.
The
Oh,
imports
yeah,
of
they're not
magnets,
gonna
defense
just lay it
systems,
out.
high-end manufacturing.
I'm running
Controlling
both.
inputs
I'm
and
running
control
both. I'm running a
factory
couple
floor.
different plays.
Now you
I'm
zoom
running
out.
the same
Rubio
play.
walks into Europe and says, pick a side.
Not going to
China
succeed on
with
one
us.
play.
Reuters reports Trump is planning a Beijing trip in April to meet with Xi Jinping.
Dude,
That
almost got your
appears to
ass.
still be on at
You
this
didn't see
point.
him coming?
Could get canceled, but right now it's on.
You never
The
saw
currency war
always
is sitting
close
underneath
last
all
time.
of that.
You guys are always
A
chasing.
weaker dollar on purpose, a stronger yuan
I
by
look at
design.
that. First
And
thing I
Europe
do is look at
squeezed
that,
in the
but
middle
it
right
works,
now, being
so
invited to join
can't
us or get the hell out of the way. You want to go with China?
But I always,
Or you wanna go
Have we
with us?
won
I
more?
always look at
Have
that
we
line.
And
won
yes,
more than
inside
we
the
lost?
GOP,
I'd
this
probably
becomes a
say
knife
so.
fight because Rubio
No.
is like a
Not even close,
neocon
bro.
favorite. He is a neocon by all accounts, right?
Since when?
I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him. He's likely
Last
to
year?
become the
No.
nominee for the GOP. J.D. Vance is a
He's lost
problem.
hard in the last
Neocons
year.
don't like him because he's not eager for a new war. He doesn't want to have a war in
It's
Iran.
tough.
Yeah.
So
How
the
long did we
neocons
spend in
hate
2016? 3
J.D.
months?
Vance.
4 months?
I know he pretends to kind of go along with Trump on a lot of issues, but I haven't.
We didn't win at all
behind
on
the
that
scenes,
one.
he does not. And so they
We
do
were
not like that guy.
500.
So watch this internal battle
We were
folding out
right
now,
around
because
500.
It tells you where this new world order goes next.
Wasn't
Is it
that
going
all
with
for the
Rubio and
fast
neocons,
No, hell no.
or is it going
Fast
to go with
forward, we
J.D.
got to the
Vance?
playoffs. We
and
got to the
more wars
playoffs
and not a massive
more than
expansion of
once
the
on our own.
military-industrial complex. Bottom line, Rubio's
Once.
speech wasn't just rhetoric; it was a signal.
we could never
flare.
break
The
the
West is
99
being
hump,
reorganized
whatever
in
it
real
was.
time.
Yeah,
The
I'm
dollar
not
is
sure we
right
ever
where
did
last
get 10
was.
wins, double digit wins.
So we better buckle
I'm
up
not sure
for
we
what's
ever did.
next.
No.
So that's the news update part of today's video. Now let's talk about
That
today's
news
sponsor, which is
update.
tied to
This
everything
game's
that we
been
just talked
whooping
about.
our
in
ass.
this
This
new
game's been
world
beating
order.
us down 40 to like 12. Though.
As we
This
just
game's
mentioned,
been-
critical minerals are one of the
Well,
top concerns.
it gets
of the
worse
United
when you
States
don't play
government.
by the.
For both the
if you
Trump
don't play
administration
by any
They beat us
fucking-
70, so if you want to go by that route, no, they beat
rare
but they
earth
beat
metals
us.
are
That was
viewed as
one
the
time.
primary
beat us
ammunition to this
Otherwise, the
21st
average
century
is 40.
economic conflict right
The
now.
average is 40.
So on
and
February
there was a
2nd,
70.
the global
But
critical
that's when
minerals
you
was
don't
hit
punt.
by a
That's when
seismic
you keep
event
when you
that
throw
will
10
be
interceptions a
remembered
game.
as the turning point for North
You know,
American
we just
resource
refuse to
independence.
change anything.
Trump
Nobody-
launched what he
nobody
called
ever took 10 a
Project
game.
Bolt.
I think
Now,
I
it represents
think
the
I-
first time in the United
At
States,
least,
in our history, that we've created a strategic, dedicated reserve specifically to protect the private sector from supply shocks in precious
Eye in the
metals.
sky.
Basically,
Six is
it's a
possible.
$12 billion
Six is possible,
bombshell
but I'm thinking
strategic stockpile.
Five
Designed to function as the strategic
Oh,
petroleum
there's some
reserve
games. That's
for the
7
age
games
of
for
AI
sure, like
and
7.
high-tech defense.
If not 10.
At the Critical Minerals Ministerial
That's the
on
only way to
February
hit
4th,
70.
J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio delivered a direct message to China. The
giving
U.S.
up
will
at
no
10.
longer allow market flooding to kill
And I know
domestic
you don't
projects,
run, so
which
the
is
only
what
way
they
you
do, and
give it up
China's
is-
very good at flooding our market.
But, yeah.
Project Vault creates a strategic petroleum reserve moment for the minerals industry, shifting
Project
the United
Vault.
States
Are you
from
sure?
a passive consumer
Project
to an
Vault.
active
Maybe that's so that
market
they got enough
participant.
petroleum to
There
get
are
to
currently
Mars.
zero
Or to have
operational
enough power to
mines of
bust
the mineral
through the
called
dome.
niobium on U.S. soil. None. So
What do you
niobium
think,
is a
America?
rare earth mineral
What's
and
Project
imported
Vault?
100% from foreign countries. Niobium
Bottom.
is used in reaction control thrusters, thruster mounts,
Cute.
lead
I'm glad you told me about that stock that's going to lose all my money.
strength to weight ratio and thermal resistance make it vital for modern weaponry and advanced military platforms.
you
It
just
is
sold the
indispensable
product.
for the
You just
super
sold the
alloys that are used in
product.
jet engines,
Can I
rocket
get
nozzles,
$1?
hypersonic
Can I
missiles.
get
With
$1?
zero domestic production in the United States and 90% global supply concentration in Brazil, niobium is a top-tier
Niobium.
security priority and a major opportunity for us. So North American niobium is in the same region
We
as
should
North
talk
America's
about this shit. All right, you done.
only
You fucked up
niobium
your spot. All right, what do we got? Fucking the fire is killing me. So that's what the hell I got.
prison awaiting trial. And I actually agree with that assessment. We are way beyond coincidence. This is now a full-blown conspiracy. So welcome back to Candace. Look, I have seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough. Erica Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said, you can show me the person who disagrees with me on that after I will reveal to you what we can now confirm. You can show me that individual, and I will show you a blown fraud. That's the only people that would disagree with that assessment. I said to my team this morning that the amount of evidence that is now piling up, I would say against Erica Kirk, is almost akin to an NBC Dateline episode, except it's actually more simplified than that. Like Dateline, that show is way too complicated. We're effectively now playing a toddler's game of Blue's Clues. Now, for my international friends who don't know what Blue's Clues is, it's a child's program here in America where toddlers follow along a massive blue dog as he puts his paw prints on certain clues around a house, 3 clues, then they try to put together a picture in the end. What is Blue trying to say?
And as it flips,
Let's take out our
my guy's running
handy
the other
dandy
direction,
notebook and see what
because I was
Blue is trying
pushing him
to
this way,
say.
and I was pushing him towards the ball, and then as it
Here's
flips,
the mail that
when
never
it flips,
fails.
my guy's
If you're
actually
an
running
adult
backwards.
that is capable of basic logic, then I can tell you that Blue's Clues is
We can
probably
do a
not for
replay of
you
that,
because
right?
it's not that exciting. It's pretty
I don't know
obvious,
what's
you
going on
know.
in
Discovering that 1 + 1
Legal block in the
equals
back
2
by them. We can
is
do a
a
replay
very
of that.
elementary concept, and that's effectively what that show is. And we are now arriving at that moment with Erica Kirk, and I'm going to tell you why. So yesterday and
Yeah, I
last
turned to
week,
this guy right here.
we
I want to see
introduced
what happens to him.
best friend for over 15 years, a woman by the name of Tracy Martin.
Yeah, because you didn't
Now,
turn
we're
your sticker. You gotta
off
turn
of
your
a
sticker
tip
around.
that Tracy may have been with Erica when Erica got the
That's you
call
doing that.
from
That's you hitting the
Elizabeth
button.
and Mikey McCoy. They were both on the phone, even though
I
that
thought you
was
meant it was an actual
never revealed
play
to the
that
public until later. Tracy, I am told, because she's privatized her public profiles, but I am told that she has denied that claim. Okay, let's assume Tracy's telling the truth and that she was not with Erica on September 10th. It's not even relevant to what we're about to reveal to you. Because what Tracy cannot deny is that her daughter is indeed Erica's assistant. I've confirmed that. And I want to be very clear here that this young woman did nothing wrong. She's not done anything wrong. I'm intentionally choosing not to name her daughter because I don't want people to stalk her, to reach out to her, or try to learn anything about her life. She, like I said, has done nothing wrong. And in many ways, she's just beginning her life, okay? She doesn't get to choose who her parents are. And who among us would not jump at an opportunity to go work with the wife of the CEO of a massive student organization like Turning Point USA? You would accept that job gleefully. That's a wonderful opportunity in life. So I just want to overstate here that this young woman needs to be left entirely alone, okay? Choosing not to name her. However, it is a fact that she was supposed to go to UVU on September 10th. I remind you, this is Erica's assistant. And it sort of tracks, given Erica's public admission, that she too was considering going. But remember, Charlie told her, home needs you. Home needs you. So she was instead going to go meet him at the next event, which was in Colorado, slated for later that week. Charlie did not want her to go to the UVU event because the kids needed her. Home needs her. But he totally wanted her to become the chairman and the CEO of the company in his absence, right? Like, that totally tracks. That makes perfect sense. Anyway. But the reason that Erica's assistant and her mother,
she's
Tracy,
being facetious.
her best friend, told people in their orbit
sarcastic.
Something quite interesting, actually. The reason that they told her that they didn't go is different from the reason that Erica didn't go, obviously. Tracy and her daughter told people that Tracy had a bad feeling. Like I told you confirmed that. Tracy had a bad feeling, and so she stopped her daughter from going to UVU. This is now confirmed. It's a fact. So let me carefully unpack to you why that is.
What is
bananas.
UVU, University of what?
The day before, as we know, Charlie messages a group of people and says that he is abandoning the pro-Israel cause, and he means it, okay? He's also texting people who work at Turning Point USA, and he's saying he wants Candace back at AmFest that year. The Zionist peer pressure to keep me off of the roster. He wasn't allowed to have me. Charlie's done. He is done. That's now a fact. He signals to his troops that he doesn't care about the money. Does not care about the money anymore. He wants them out. He then has what looks like an emergency Zoom call with Rabbi Wolicki. And I want you to bear in mind, this is 4 a.m. in Israel. Rabbi Wolicki lives in Israel. It's 4 a.m. and he's going to jump on this call with Charlie. And he was just on this chat. He was on the chat 2 hours earlier before this call when Charlie said that he would no longer be bullied by Jewish donors who play into all of the stereotypes. That chat, that notorious chat, which also featured Josh Hammer, okay? Josh and the rabbi. 2 hours later, are going to jump on this call.
What is he saying? Jewish people killed him?
After Charlie assassinated Josh and Erica.
But it's connected to us because
to my face.
I'm telling you, dude, he was getting too close to the sun.
Was really not a big deal.
That
chat wasn't a
big
big deal. Charlie was just blown off with his steam. He didn't mean it. He never once blinked on his support for Israel. Now, according to Josh,
people don't get it, and I believe Charlie Kirk's innocent. Not innocent, but
he's a mentor somehow to Charlie.
Naivete
into debating.
Got
he
him
really
killed.
seen some good talking points. He was angry at Israel.
Right,
but
thinking he can just say
was just
whatever.
blowing off some steam, and then he was
not knowing what he's talking about. Period.
So apparently,
he's talking that Christian
Josh
crap,
Hammer, and he also knew this rabbi,
religious crap, but he ain't talking the Bible. He ain't speaking the Bible because the Bible says clearly, explicitly tells you that Israel is evil.
To college students. It's
they
exactly
rejected Jesus.
Doing some main stage events up against some big political players.
And they killed him.
He needs help doing college students. So never
God
mind
said,
the
your
fact,
turn's
let's just
over
park
right
aside
now.
the fact
You don't get
that
to come to me.
Charlie was
You
known as a
turned your back
wonder for
on
doing
me, so
just
I'm
that.
turning
So
my
that's how
back
he made
on
his
you.
name, debating
And he
college
looked
kids.
towards the rest of the
This
world.
time, for whatever reason, he needed some
But he
pointers,
did
and
it- but he
these
did
were
it
the
for
two
a
that were
reason.
best suited for the
Right?
job.
It's so that we have a chance to be saved. We don't have to
No
perish in our
happens
sins.
thereafter as Charlie concludes this call
Right?
with
Because he
Josh
was there
and the
trolling
rabbi.
people. So
And then
he's
he
willing to
sends
adopt
off
us
text
as
messages
sons and daughters.
Security
with-
chief
because
Dan
Israel
Flood,
has rejected
also to
him.
Andrew
Think about
Colbert,
it.
and
Your
he
son runs
says
away,
to them
rejects
that they
you,
are
tells you
going
he
to
can't
kill
stand
me.
you.
Who is
He
they?
hates
Well,
you,
Erica
tried
wants
to
us to
kill
believe
you, killed
that he was
killed
referring
your
to the
wife
left.
or something.
Or maybe even
And
an Etsy
you have a
witch,
chance
right?
to
Some
have a
Etsy witch who put a curse
foreign
on him.
exchange student.
Because
You know,
don't
it's the son you
forget,
never
we
had,
were also told
Well, same
that
shit.
the definitely not at all Catholic Charlie had a priest
And
come over
so-
and pray over him.
But in
as well,
doing
after
that, he
has
knows
this,
that he's making Israel
debating
jealous. And so that
pointers
when
handed
all
to
hell
him
breaks loose, they are going
and
to come
texting
back to
people
him.
saying he's going to die.
Because they want to be
He
saved the
also
same way.
was not at all Catholic and needed a priest to pray over him.
The Goyim are being
And
saved.
by the way, don't forget, he also apparently had no fears the next day.
But right
Erica
now,
says. He has his
Israel
phone,
is
but we got a priest
evil,
praying over him.
But God
we
does
have
keep a remnant
a
of them
declaration that
safe.
he's abandoning the pro-Israel cause and that he feels that he is being bullied.
Because it
and he's
proves
done
that
with
he's
it,
not a liar.
and that Joshua play into all the stereotypes. But we are also told that he had no fears the next day. Actually, he was just excited. He was elated. He couldn't sleep because doing college campus events was so brand new to him that he felt like a kid on Christmas morning. I'm just going to jump in here and tell you that's a lie. Okay, no one on earth has done more college campus events with Charlie Kirk than me. Charlie was not bubbling over in excitement to answer questions from the likes of Hunter Kozak. Okay, these events, you stand up, they're just trying to debunk you, and you do them. You're not just out of your skin to do them because it's your job. Okay, it's the shiny effect has wore off for Charlie Kirk. He was good at his job, and he enjoyed having the debates. He enjoyed cutting across the clips so people could wake up to what was happening on college campuses. But let's just stop this absurd narrative that he couldn't sleep like it was Christmas morning and he was 4 years old.
It
Anyway,
looked like
we
you
can
were
keep
doing the pig
we can keep with
16
Erica's
shit.
story though. Let's just stick with it. Actually, she's high on Charlie Kirk is high on life over a routine college event, and now he's up and pacing around the house, not in fear, just in excitement. This is like Disney World for him, going to UVU. Oddly, however, what we can confirm to you is Erica's best friend and her assistant
Say
did have
otherwise.
fear for some reason. Charlie's good. He's excited, but they had fear. For some reason, Tracy Martin told her daughter, who's Erica's assistant, not to go to this event. They pulled her back because Tracy senses danger. But that's just mommy intuition. Are we to believe that she did this? She pulled her daughter back from this event, and she declined to share that overwhelming mommy intuition with her best friend, whose husband was going to the event? That seems selfish to me. Are we also to believe that Erica wasn't interested in asking her assistant why she wasn't going to do her job?
I don't know why you did that.
To work? I want you guys to remember, Charlie was assassinated on a
Did you
Wednesday.
lob it or hold
So if
it?
Tracy pulled her
I threw it. I'm
daughter
pretty sure
back from
I threw
going
it
to
hard.
work or going
Pretty
to
sure.
the event
Yeah.
on Wednesday morning, then presumably Erica,
If you're gonna
her
try that.
daughter's employer or boss, would have been made aware. You presumably would have had to say something. Maybe in the conversation, hey, what are you doing staying behind here in Arizona? Didn't I tell you to go help Charlie at UVU? There's going to have to be some sort of a conversation. And if you're wondering why at all Erica's assistant would be traveling with Charlie, it's because she also doubled as an assistant on Charlie's show, and the whole gang was there. Remember Charlie's show? Blake Neff's there. They're bringing every amazing Mikey McCoy is there.
Amazing
wow,
Mikey McCoy.
Her work
We
colleagues.
throw him a parade.
Hey, maybe
Yeah,
don't
he needs
go.
a
My mom's got a bad
A
feeling.
parade of men in his ass.
No.
Is about what he needs.
Or were Blake and Mikey wondering why she wasn't coming to work?
My
And UVU, how
Iggy.
did this go? I
Treasonous.
want to know.
My Iggy.
I have all of these questions, but you see, I'm not a police officer. I
They
don't work
got-
for the
they
feds.
let their guy
And so I
get
don't have a
killed.
right to ask them outside of this podcast. Did
They
she
had-
call out
they
sick?
had to have known.
Maybe that's what maybe she's called out sick.
No way.
That's not what she told people in her immediate circle, but I'm just throwing things at the wall here. Because everything we're being told makes no sense. So did she called out altogether? Again, I'll ask the question, what sorts of best friend would move out of intuition to save her daughter's life, to protect her daughter, but not communicate those concerns to her best friend whose husband is still going to that event? Are we to believe that that is how it went down? And if the answer is yes, are we to assume that they believe we're idiots? Erica should be dragged into a police precinct. Tracy Martin should be dragged into a police precinct. Her daughter should be made to sit and answer basic questions about this intuition. Messages should be shared, shown. Everyone should figure out how this happened. That's where I'm at on this. She needs to be questioned. Erica needs to be questioned. Because my dog Blue is leaving his paw print, and this picture seems pretty obvious that is emerging. Paw print number 1, on the day of Charlie's actual funeral, her and Andrew Colbett, Erica and Andrew Colbett had an emergency three-way call with Dr. Lee Trotter, the surgeon, trying to figure out how to respond to the public about why the 30-06 didn't pass through Charlie's neck. Erica allegedly is the one who put forth this three-way call. She's on the call. There was no HIPAA violation here, and she is the one that suggested that Charlie has a Superman neck. And again, they are playing defense because I shared the fact on my podcast.
Did she actually say
and the poll
that?
didn't go through.
Yeah.
Well, it did not go through. There was no blood at all.
Wow.
Apparently, Andrew hit send on X to Superman neck. And we're led to believe for a very long time that that was referring to, I don't know, something the surgeon said, which she didn't. My Dog Blue paw print number 2.
My Dog Blue.
Erica lied to Glenn Beck about Charlie having not sent around text messages the night before to various people signaling that he thought he was going to be murdered. I have his phone. I have his phone. And then she said that was a mistake. No, it must have been on Telegram that he sent that. And then I confirmed with my person that had access to Dan Flood's phone that it wasn't sent on Telegram. It was sent an iMessage. So she lied to me. She lied twice. She lied once, and then she lied again to me.
Bitch.
And I don't like when people lie to my face.
Damn.
Paw print number 3. Erica was at the meeting in the Hamptons when Bibi Netanyahu called and offered to take Turning Point to the next level, but she cannot remember that particular detail. Boys and girls, what is the picture that is emerging?
She's working
We could do more paw prints, but this is a toddler show. 3 should be enough to have a picture that's emerging. We should be able to take out my handy dandy notebook and put together a picture here, a story here should be emerging. And the kids, you can just shout, what's happening here? What are we looking at, kids?
Collusion.
And that doesn't even account for all
How
of
do you
these
spell
subjective
collusion?
oddities, vibes, like Erica's emotions, the Zoom call, the Shabbat Shalomin book tour, Erica asserting to Barry Weiss, of all people, that Jew hatred is wrong, Erica allowing Ben Shapiro to open at AmFest behind her. I said that was my clue something was wrong. When Ben came out swinging, I was going, oh, something's very wrong here. Erica welcoming the New York Times
Ben Shapiro's probably part
into
of it,
their
too.
shared home.
That's fucked
Basically, Erica here is pulling
Dude,
the
he's not from
LBJ. And what I mean by that is as soon as LBJ got into office after JFK's assassination, he reversed course on every single one of JFK's policies. JFK's enemies seemingly became LBJ's friends. Erica appears to be doing that to me strongly. I know for a fact Charlie disliked Ben. Why would you let him buy his way onto the stage? Charlie said no, for a fact, to more Zionist control at Turning Point USA. He signaled to the troops, this is done, it is over. Charlie said no to Bibi Netanyahu coming on his show. So he was done being bullied by Zionist dollars. Is that the energy that we're getting right now from Turning Point USA? I broke the story and people didn't believe me because it sounds made up. I'm not making this up. There was a scheduled a few weeks ago for Bibi Netanyahu, Erica Kirk, and Ben Shapiro to film together something. Maybe it was supposed to be for the Super Bowl. I don't know, but it got canceled at the last second. They were filming something in Palm Beach, and it got canceled last second. Does that feel like the direction of travel that Charlie Kirk was going into? We can't even get his widow to at least come out and tell the truth about Charlie shifting positions. Does that not strike you as odd? Again, we're now in subjective territory, but does that not strike you as odd to at least say, as I would feel, and as I have felt, like, you know, screw you, Josh Hammer, and this person, everybody who was mean to him and stressed him out in those final days? We're not even getting that energy. And in case you still do not believe what I have maintained from the very beginning about Charlie, who had flipped his position on Israel, I want to show you this clip of Megyn Kelly, which is going viral from her appearance on Piers Morgan's show. Now, Megyn Kelly is not the person that I expected to be one of the very few people with a platform who knew Charlie, who simply did the right thing and told the truth. Okay? She has taken a ton of flack for that. I also want to be clear that her and I do not agree. She supports Turning Point USA. She supports the direction Turning Point USA is going into ostensibly. She disagrees with me. on a great many number of topics.
Wow, how dare somebody?
But at this
disagree?
juncture,
No,
I
she's
would
just
probably
saying
call
that
over
that's
glass to defend
that
her,
they don't
even
agree
if I
on
didn't
everything,
agree with her
and so for
positions,
them to agree on
because
this
she
thing,
showed that she
Are
has
you
soul.
still? Are you still friends?
And apparently that's
They're
rare in
not
politics.
friends.
She showed
You
and
should
demonstrated that she had a soul
I doubt it.
when a good man was murdered in broad daylight in front of the entire world. And she had the courage to simply tell the truth. She said, yes, Charlie changed his mind on the topic of Israel. She believes that Tyler Robinson was the person, as she has said on her show. Again, we don't agree. She thinks that
Again,
it
I
was
think
Tyler
that's
Robinson who did
hearsay.
this.
I don't know hearsay per se.
And
but
she
I
agrees
still
with the
think that's
narrative
hearsay.
that we're not getting a lot of
Well, she
details
probably
because it's
got
making
video
its way through
evidence
its
of her
court
saying
system.
Mm-hmm.
But that hasn't made her
That's what most
lie
of these people. I mean, if
about
they're
what Charlie was
smart,
going through at the
they
end.
got receipts.
Why is it Megyn Kelly?
You got something.
Charlie
to back
Kirk
it
didn't
up
make
with.
Megyn
You got a
Kelly. Charlie
source.
Kirk
Usually.
did not employ Megyn
Otherwise,
Kelly. She
you're an
wasn't
idiot
making
talking
tons
out
of
of
money
your
at Turning
ass.
Point USA.
You got no
Charlie Kirk
evidence.
didn't sweat and lose sleep trying to build up Megyn Kelly. But all of his lieutenants around him, they're silent. They're letting the lies fly. This is Megyn Kelly on Piers Morgan, and she makes an incredible point that they're all coming after her. I don't know why she's always responsible for what I say, even though we don't agree. I don't even go on her show. They don't go after people like Piers Morgan, who actually does platform me. Take a listen to what she had to say.
And just on Candace Owens, you've been very supportive of her, not critical, even though she, I would argue, and I have to her face when I've had her on the show, I get on well with Candace, but some of the stuff she's been doing in relation to Eric Kirk, Richie Macron, and others, I do think is really regrettable, kind of conspiracy theory nonsense just for clicks and money. Why would you hesitate before criticizing her over stuff like that?
I've criticized Candace many times over the years. We've had many public fights over the years. But isn't it interesting that you will, quote, platform Candace? She hasn't been on my show in several years, but I get all the hard time. Why am I getting that? You're the one, quote, platforming Candace Owens. She and I don't have that kind of relationship. Candace took a bunch of crap because she was very anti-Israel in the Gaza war. And it became a thing where you had to say she was terrible in her positioning. And then after Charlie died, she started questioning whether Israel had any role in it. And that's when they really tried to amp up the pressure on me to condemn her. And I refused because Charlie was starting to have serious questions about Israel. Not just its role in the Gaza war, but its influence on American politicians. Something he and I spent hours and hours discussing. So I had no problem with Candace Owens asking those questions. And I refused to condemn her because I was under pressure from these people who wanted me to. And then that morphed into then everything Candace said thereafter, with which I may or may not have had serious problems, that I had to, where's the condemnation? And it was all really about the Israel thing. And I'd rather die than bend the knee to these people. I'd rather die than bend the knee. It won't happen. I didn't raise my fist and say BLM, and I'm not going to condemn the people they want me to condemn just so that I can get a little pat on my head from them. It's not important to me. What's important to me is I live free, and that, frankly, is what it means to be an American.
That is incredibly powerful. And like I said, kudos to Megyn Kelly because she's telling the truth. It has always been about Israel. It's not about morality. And by the way, even if she did come out outright and condemn me, that would buy her maybe until next week. If she didn't say the next thing they wanted her to say, they would destroy her. We have seen this pattern over and over again. I wanted people. That's not from this pattern. I don't like what's happening in Gaza.
Her little nostril flared.
Look what's happening with Charlie. Does this make any sense to you? Charlie was, for a fact, having plenty of doubts about Israel. Anybody in his inner circle can tell you that. And yet people in his inner circle are not telling you that.
All you gotta do is buy a nice camera.
They are spending money and
saying?
going
But
after
she was part of,
influencers from the
Blaze
very
TV
beginning to
with
influence
Glenn Beck and all
people
them
to believe
niggas,
that Candace
you know
was
what I'm
lying
saying?
about
And,
this fact.
They fucking shit
And now
on her
we have
because she wouldn't
a
fucking say
predicament
Israel's the
when
greatest.
even the person closest to Charlie,
Because she
his
wouldn't
wife,
suck Israel's dick.
is being caught telling lies. These are lies.
Did you find it?
It is inexplicable why her assistant was pulled
Look it up
back
again real quick.
on September 10th.
What the fuck?
Maybe it is
Can
actually.
you
Maybe
remember?
it's something that can be explained.
I'm not the one
Then they
who
should
used
explain
the
it.
controllers. Choose your
This is
draft
way too
players.
coincidental. I want to be very clear.
How do you
Very clear
change
on my
playbooks
perspective
on
this.
Madden
I believe this is a
2024 to
conspiracy.
another team's?
believe
Google and see how to use this thing,
that
'cause
this
I don't
just
know
keeps
how.
happening and no one can give answers,
Navigate to
and
the
that
settings,
Charlie
game
really
options
was just
from
so
the main menu
excited
to
the night
change
before and he
default,
slept in his daughter's bed
Franchise
and
settings
every
or region settings?
How do you change
we don't know what happened
your
here.
playbook
Sweep it all
in
under the rug.
Madden
Nobody talked about what happened at the
2024
Hamptons.
to
He just
another
needed
team's
advice from Josh
playbook in
Hammer.
a franchise?
They're asking us to be really stupid right
Manage
now,
staff,
and I am
team
asking you
schemes,
to join me in
and adjust the
refusing that
offensive
order.
defensive playbook.
How?
Anyway, we are going to pause here and take a brief break before I respond to a
another team's
TikToker
playbook. Go to
who has called me
manage
over
staff.
in an internet game of Red Rover, and I have something to say about what she has
No,
shared.
that roster.
Be right
I
back.
didn't mean to.
All right, you guys, inflation has been skyrocketing and it does not seem like it is going to slow down anytime soon. Groceries cost more, gas costs more, and the value of the dollar just does not stretch the way that it used to. That's why so many people are turning to
Yay.
gold and silver, assets that have historically held their value during uncertain times. Gold and silver have been performing incredibly well, and they can be a powerful way to
changing yours
diversify
too
your
now?
portfolio when the
Yeah,
market
I
is
need my
unpredictable.
spy plane.
Instead of having everything tied up
You
in
know
paper
this.
assets, adding precious metals can help balance and protect what you've worked so hard to build. That's where Goldco comes
Yeah.
in. Goldco makes it easy to learn how gold and silver can fit into your overall strategy. They'll even send you a free gold and silver kit so you can understand your options with zero pressure.
Yeah.
And their team, they are real experts, friendly, knowledgeable, and genuinely there to help you every step of
Send
the
it
way.
here.
So if you're
Send
thinking
it,
about
Kevin.
diversifying your
Oh, shit.
assets, now is the time to do so. Goldco is celebrating America's 250th anniversary with a limited time bonus offer. Get up to 10% free gold or silver
That ain't
plus
60
free
minutes.
storage and a free home safe with
I
a
gotta
minimum
start buying,
cash
like,
purchase.
Power
Head to
Rangers or
CandiceLikesGold.com for details.
Why?
Again, that's
Cause that
CandiceLikesGold.com.
fucking job fucks
Also
you up.
remind you guys
Yeah,
about
I left my
PDS
fucking-
debt,
all that
because whether you're
water.
struggling with credit cards, personal
fucks
loans,
you
or
up.
medical bills, PDS debt has
Yeah, I
custom
bought a
options to
Gatorade
help you
at the
get out of
hotel
debt.
yesterday. I
They
went
go
to the
beyond
hotel
numbers to
yesterday.
understand your
Stayed
unique
overnight.
financial situation
I
and
want a
craft
hot
a
tub.
personalized
Me a
plan
hot
that's
tub.
designed just for
Well,
you.
probably the only
There's
pool
no
in
minimum
Milwaukee.
credit score
Or
required.
not
They're here to
Milwaukee.
help you
Only
save more,
pool in
pay off your debt
southeastern
faster,
Milwaukee,
and start putting money
southeastern
back where it
Wisconsin.
belongs, which is
It has
obviously
a
your
hot
pocket.
tub
PDS
and no
debt is
fucking
A
pool.
plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. Boasts
I call
thousands of 5-star
40
reviews on
fucking.
Google and
No,
Amazon,
that's a
and
lot.
5-star
I
ratings
call
on
it 14
Trustpilot. PDS has
places.
helped hundreds of thousands
That
of people get out of
don't
debt.
have a hot tub.
Every month you wait, it
No hot
costs
tub.
you more in
No hot tub.
interest and
No
fees.
hot
There's
tub.
no better time to
You guys
start
got hot tub?
taking
So
control
I'm
of your
like,
debt
I
right now.
just assumed.
Don't wait another month.
Where'd
Take
you
back
go?
control in 30
Clarion.
seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you by visiting
Clarion Point, Mount Pleasant.
pdsdebt.com/Candace. Again, that's
Yeah, I used to-
Off of 20. Off
pdsdebt.com/Candace.
of 20, yeah.
I used to stay at
The podcasters, they've done a lot
Cool.
more than the entire federal government, law enforcement, and Turning Point USA executives in terms of trying to figure
She
out
was
what
hesitant to get into
happened
the hot
to
tub.
Charlie Kirk.
She's
Why things are not making sense.
up
And
to her
one
ankles, shins, and
TikToker
she
got
finally made her ass in there.
onto the
You know, she's in
platform,
there. She
and
was
she
enjoying a little bit. And she come down
decided
the
to
next
bump me
morning.
and some information in a nice
I was down there. She
internet
was laying in
game
bed.
of Red Rover. Take a listen.
Down this morning, you know, looking for me.
Red
and couldn't
Rover,
find
Red
me.
Rover. I call Candace
And
over. I found
fucking
something in the Epstein files that may
walks her
be
ass into the hot tub with her clothes on.
investigation. Let's
Then
get
never
into it.
stood
So
out and just
after Charlie
fucking
Kirk
went in
had
there
passed
and
away,
folded around. I was
we
already
started seeing
cooked.
these
I'm like
articles pop
sweating.
up,
I'm like,
which made me dig
I'm
into
ready to
Eric
leave
Kirk,
out this
and I
bitch.
found the Romanian
Now
angel
she
stuff.
up in there.
That video blew
bobbing
up,
around. I'm
but
like,
I didn't have any lawyers sent after
okay.
me. Instead, it was private investigators asking how I found this information, asking me to send them links. I knew at that point that I was on the right track, was suspecting that Erica Kirk could be involved in something bigger than what we're being told. So I've kept digging, because in every homicide investigation, a potential suspect is the spouse, especially when they have so much to gain, right? Now, this article that was posted shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination by
That
USA
reminds me of
Today
like a
states
Sherry
that Erica
smile right
Kirk
there.
worked as a real
A
estate
fake
agent
Sherry.
in New
Yeah,
York City
she's
for
fake as hell.
Yeah.
This bitch is
We're gonna leave
fake.
the
In
story
fact,
that
she
works
got
as a real
caught.
estate
This
agent
video.
for Corcoran
She got
Group.
caught putting
Then her boss would
shit
be
in
Pamela
her.
Newman, because Pamela has been the president and
She got
CEO
caught putting
of
shit in her
Corcoran
eyes
Group
before coming on
since
stage to
2000.
make her cry.
At least that's what the public has been told. Now,
Who
this
did?
Epstein document
That
that's
girl you
doing
just
an
pointed
official
at.
name search and
Erica
alias
Kirk.
Oh, that's
for
what it was?
Lynn
That's
Forster,
her
aka
husband.
Lindy
That's his
Rothschild.
wife.
It states that under her work affiliations, mentions that she is the Corcoran Group Inc. president. And it even shows her email, which is redacted. Now, this is a bit of a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, but if Erica was involved in anything sketchy and she needed to receive payment, having her work for the Corcoran Group as a real estate agent would be a very easy way to launder money, right?
So let me just tell you how God works. I don't actually peruse TikTok that often, and I got this video. I think somebody sent it to me, and I had just arrived at an interesting fact about Erica, because we've been working in the background on this timeline of her life, and it was about her real estate career.
Right.
An interesting little tidbit that I can add here on her journey.
Yeah, right.
It just so happens to be, like I said, this
Yeah, I
came
thought
across,
that was
so I was
computer
noticing
Russian.
this inexplicable data
You.
point. The
I'm
story
like,
that we
for
are
some
told,
reason, I'm like,
and the
what-
story
what-
that Charlie was told, the story that
Yeah.
I was told,
That was like-
is
you were
that
like,
Erica and Charlie
you
Kirk
zigged
fell
right
in
through
love
that shit. You
when
was like,
he was
zing, zing,
interviewing
zing.
her for a
then
job
like,
with Turning Point USA. Many people
I
have
was
confirmed this many times
literally,
over.
like,
I'll
for a
give you some
second,
examples.
for
Here is
long
Tyler Boyer discussing this at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
I got a call. I got a call from Miss Erica Kirk, Miss Arizona 2012. I just want to help, she said.
Why
So
do you have to
naturally, I
say
put her
that?
right behind the president at
Miss
that first
Arizona
rally.
2012. That's that
After
dude's
that, we
weight.
talked. It was obvious she was the perfect person for
After
the
the
job that
at
Charlie
the
and I had
that's the
devised in
funeral,
one of
yeah,
our
wait.
24-hour planning sessions. I wanted to hire her. I only had one problem. Charlie Kirk wanted to date her.
Okay, he tells that story, and by the way, he's telling the truth. I was around for that. I just had to scroll in through my own text messages. Here is Erica similarly telling the story herself. Take a listen.
He got finished with his burger and he just sat there and he looked at me and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to hire you. I was like, that's fine. I don't need this job. I'm doing plenty of other things here in Manhattan. He's like, I'm going to date you.
Okay, so this is a job interview, and I'm going to show you one more example of this. She tells Megyn Kelly this on stage, and this is even after his assassination. So take a listen.
When I met Charlie, the only reason I sat down with him because I thought it was a consulting position for work. I did not date in Manhattan. I saw
That's a lie.
pits of hell of the dating pool
We know
through
that's
my
a lie.
roommates.
They got all the videos to prove it and the pictures.
So I can
to
tell
prove
you,
it.
going back in my
Yeah.
text
And she
messages
was
with
on a
Charlie,
reality show
that
drinking and
this
dating.
thing happened
Dude, she's a
September
bad
of
liar,
2018. We discussed
She got
it. Like I
called-
said, I was
caught
basically
nasty.
like his wingman, and very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica and him.
Oh, I
getting
never what play that was. It was
together
I
as well.
was gone.
So Charlie
It was something
interviewed
I
her
swear
in New York.
close.
That's true because she was looking
Guns
for
play
a
close
gig with
trail.
Turning Point USA, and I find that now to be very strange, weird, that she would be looking for a job in politics at the exact same time that she apparently received a New York real estate license. Yeah. So October 2018 is when they began dating in earnest. That is the very month that Erica receives her New York real estate license. She begins dating Charlie Kirk. I'm going to show you that. Here is her license, and I'm going to show you how you figure this out.
How did that happen?
This
Why,
is a
did you find
snapshot.
it?
You can
No,
see
how'd
it
you
says
get
this
the-
real
Oh,
estate
you-
license is
the
valid
actual-
until October
threw me
24th,
off.
2020. In New York, your real estate
want you to
license
find that
lasts
play
for
on
2
that
years,
document.
like a driver's
So
license. You have to
it'd
get
go
that
down.
license renewed,
That was
and
it
it's
right
every 2 years. So if it expired in October 24th, 2020,
Right there.
that means that
Play
she
action like
received
that.
her real estate
Right?
license, we can assume, on October 24th, 2018.
For some reason that looks
She
familiar.
started dating Charlie Kirk. I just thought that was super interesting. That didn't exactly make sense to me as I was doing this timeline, because I remember when
You
Charlie met
drink.
Erica. I
Yes.
remember Tyler setting this up. I remember the conversations, and I still have the conversations, thankfully, because I delete nothing when all this went down. The career that I was told that Erica had was that she was doing fashion. Erica was
Time
in New
you gotta
York
get up.
City. I met her at a steakhouse shortly
Gina.
thereafter. Charlie wanted to know what I
Day
thought about
37.
her, and what I was made to understand was that Erica was working in fashion on this
9:55.
clothing brand, Proclaim Streetwear. She wore a lot of jewelry on her arm, and she was into like Christian branded fashion. So I'm just trying to understand
Christian
why
branded
you would be
fashion.
trying to do both a fashion company, and then if you look up the LLCs, certainly at being of 2019, she files for a trademark for that fashion brand. So she is both running a fashion brand, getting her master's at Liberty University, getting her real estate license, and beginning a career with Corcoran Real Estate, which is a massive real estate firm in New York. And when we dig up the relic of what she was doing at Corcoran Real Estate, all we can find on Wayback Machine is that she had one listing. So how did this career get started? How were we not told?
I got two
How was
guys.
I not told? When I spoke to her, she was a real estate agent. I don't know, that all seems quite strange to me. The real estate thing seems a little bit strange. So I want to add that to the pile for you TikTokers that are looking into things. Let you know that you are on the right track, and you've noticed something that struck me as odd at the exact same moment that you came across it. I said, this is actually weird. This is not the Erica that I met. I didn't know anything about this. How many careers can you have at the exact same time? Also, by the way, doing a reality show, dating, even though you never dated in New York City. Or at least what you told Barry Weiss. Anyway, I wanted to add that little tidbit before we answer some of your questions. We will be right back after a brief break from sponsors. All right, you guys, it's $25 a month. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data. Now compare that to Big Wireless. They'd rather charge your family hundreds every single month. Pure Talk is an American wireless company that supports our veterans and invests in a U.S.-only customer service team. So when you call, you're talking to someone right here at home.
Nice.
Pure Talk uses the same towers as the big carriers, so you enjoy superior 5G coverage without the inflated price.
Nice.
Just $25 a month for talk, text, and plenty of data. No contract, no cancellation fee. So what are you waiting for? Head to puretalk.com/Owens and you'll get 50% off your first month. Again, that's puretalk.com/Owens to make that switch to Pure Talk. Also remind you guys about Tax Network USA, because maybe you owe back taxes and maybe you have unfiled returns, or you filed every year but you still somehow keep owing. Did you retire and suddenly get hit with a tax bill that you didn't expect? Maybe you pulled money from your 401k or IRA early, and now the IRS wants its share. However your tax issue started, the outcome is the same. Your balance is not going down. Penalties are growing. Interest compounds. And many of you are about to owe again for this upcoming tax year with no plan in place. Well, stop what you're doing and call Tax Network USA. The IRS is not waiting. The IRS is enforcing collections through wage garnishments, bank levies, and property seizures. They can even file for you without your consent. This is where Tax Network USA comes in. With over 15 years in business, there has not been a tax case that they have not seen through or resolved. They specialize in tax controversies, and they help taxpayers nationwide get back on track by resolving back taxes and unfiled returns once and for all. So whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, the team has resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. They're offering a free investigation call with the IRS. After that investigation, they put a clear case plan in place to resolve your tax problem and get you back on track. This is about using your legal rights to take control before the government sets the terms for you. So do not wait for another IRS letter or a frozen bank account. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Candace. Again, that's tnusa.com/Candace. Calling anybody who went to school with Erica is amazing. It's her entire... She's got so many universities she went to. Is everything online beyond first semester of freshman year? Regis University, we have Loyola Marymount University, we've got Arizona State University, we've got Liberty University, we've got graduate programs, obscure programs, and I don't have anybody in my tips box that is saying they went to school with her or were a roommate with her. So if that's you, please send us a message. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. So I'd like to just know. I'd like to piece that together. I've never seen someone do so much schooling and have no one that can confirm that they did any schooling. Maybe it was all online. Again, she seems to be a Jane, if we will, of many trades. And we'll have more of that again next week as I take you through. She's traveling. She's living in China, but she's in school the whole time. So maybe it was all, maybe it really was all just online. I would like to know more. Also, in case you missed this update, quite strangely, one of the people who was fired, the one who spoke out, Aubrey Leitch, at Turning Point USA, the one who was questioned over the Uber ride by Marina Mines, the CMO over at Turning Point USA. Her husband or her fiance, who also got fired from Turning Point USA just because I guess he's going to marry her or something, was going home and recognized there was a person outside of their home. The video is online. You can find it. That was taking photos of their car, their license plate on their car, as well as their home. And obviously he confronted him. He records the person. So in case you're thinking, which I would have thought, maybe they're just trying to serve documents. No. The whole conversation is online. He questions him about why he's here. He says, my name is Mike, and I am taking photos because this legal firm asked me to take photos. He won't give much more information. He says he can't speak about it. This looks to me like a private investigator. Like Turning Point USA has sent private
He's
investigators
already
to
stopped.
gather information on their employees.
Another
We
number
aren't sure.
17.
I certainly looked to Andrew
McLaurin.
Colette for a statement on this. That is not what happens when they serve documents. I'm a
Like
bit of
slow
an expert
motion,
on
you
that.
open
They
it.
just give you the documents. There was no documents in his hand.
What?
He delivered nothing to him, and
I'm
he
talking about even
was
during the
just
play. It
taking
was slow motion.
photos of their home and their car. Terrifying, of course,
Everybody stood up.
for somebody who is 25 years old to experience. That is absolutely
Real
terrifying.
speed.
I don't know why you can't just get fired these days. I don't know why you have former employers acting like ex-boyfriends. It's very crazy. Ex-boyfriends. It's very strange. But I want to let you know that that's happening. Turning Point USA former employees are going to move because they don't know what Turning Point USA is doing. They are going to move to take down their GoFundMe on Thursday of this week. So I wanted to once again promote it. If you would like to support the Turning Point USA employees who have been fired, you can go to GoFundMe, the Purge Fallout Fund, and hopefully we can help them as they get their lives restarted because they worked 20-hour days. And of course, they did not see any of the billions that are allegedly coming in from Pierre. They didn't get to stick around. They got to be emotionally manipulated to believe that Charlie was in the office working. It's working. If you want to see Charlie, his spirit lives in the office. How about LOL? They mocked me for saying I had a dream about Charlie, but did anybody make fun of Erica for saying that Charlie's spirit was in the office or would be with them in the office when they were working and they could speak to Charlie? No, because that wasn't a part of the PR campaign to attack Candace Owens no matter what she says at all times. Yeah, even when it's totally sensible. I had a dream. Charlie told me he was betrayed, and I'm feeling like that's a fact check true. You
Good
believe
job.
me?
Thank you fucking dude.
I give myself a fact check true on that one. If you guys would like to support our show, we have new merch on the website. Also remind you guys that our show is available in Spanish, Portuguese, and Farms. This person writes, at this point, I think Andrew Colbert is secretly cheering on Candace because he keeps giving her... You can find that. Reading the top comment from last episode is from Charms. This person writes, at this point, I think Andrew Colbert is secretly cheering on Candace because he keeps giving her content. I tell you, he's definitely not cheering me on. They absolutely hate me. I am the person to them, you know, at the end of every Scooby-Doo mystery, you're like, and we almost got away with it. If it wasn't for you meddling kids, I'm the meddling kid. I'm the meddling kid. None of it is making any sense. I'm going to continue to ask questions. And since you've already completely exacerbated every effort to have a PR machine come after me,
His ass.
I have nothing to lose.
That's cute.
You guys have been chasing me for having sensible positions regarding what Israel is doing all around the world. What do I have to lose? Nothing. In fact, I have everything to gain, in my view. I have everything to gain by telling the truth. I hope people commit themselves to that understanding that if you have a platform, even if you don't have a platform, the challenge for you is to always commit yourself to the truth. It feels like right now more than ever, there is so much temptation to side with evil because it's convenient, because it's wealthy, because it has power. There's so much temptation to side with the lie. There's also the psychological operation that is being run by these people to convince you that you are immoral for having an immoral perspective, quite literally trying to invert reality. And I don't know. I just want you to feel encouraged to stand up to these people, like Charlie did in the end, to stand up to these bullies who are trying to force you into their perspectives by putting you under duress in one way or the other. I just want to encourage you to keep doing that. Like I said, the more that we tell the truth, the more exposed they become. It feels to me like the entire frequency of truth is raising right now, and they are threatened and they are thrashing. It feels like we have the devil by the tail, and I wish Charlie could be here for that. I do. And I'm so happy, like I said, I am so happy that he died with his soul intact. At the end, he stood up and he said, no more, I am done with this. The money doesn't mean anything to me, take it.
Yeah.
I want real people in my life. So, anyway, getting to some more of your comments today. I see I have gone off, but I think I was chill.
I mean, she sits there and talks to her fucking self, motherfucker.
She's not talking to herself. She's talking to people watching the fucking program.
They ask her questions.
Yeah, actually, well, she ain't live right there, but if they're live, then yeah, they read the chat. And respond live. That's what much.
Oh, the old
I'd rather hear these
The
motherfuckers
world
talk
we
shit.
are watching now on television is filled with Democrats and panic mode, something I've noticed for the first time in my life. When's the last time you saw Democrats screaming and yelling all the time? The politics, they're just not, it's not falling their way like it used to. We're going to look at the trap set by Bondi the other day. There's brilliant insight on that one. The SAVE Act playing out before us and realizing there's so much more needed for our election integrity. Arizona could be next. More on the Epstein documents. Oh my goodness, there's so much to cover, and I thought there wouldn't be much to cover. After President Trump won, boy, there's a lot. Folks, we're at 500,000 plus followers on the Rumble channel that's set up for us, and they are all about free speech. We hope that you're there. And thank you for following us and hitting that like button for these videos. It helps us on the leaderboard and, helps the algorithm so other folks will tune in here. Also wanted to show you our website. It is pretty amazing, amweknow.com. We're actually...
The election machines and election counting capabilities. CISA and the Homeland Security Department deal with that. The FBI Justice Department deal with criminal violations. So she's down there for a reason, and I think my reporting suggests that there will be some sort of important election integrity event tomorrow, Maricopa County in Arizona. That'll be the second state after Georgia to have that sort of treatment. So put it on the calendar, get ready, and we'll have you covered here at Real America's Voice and JusticeNews.com.
Somebody gave that information to John, and John's letting folks know. And the enemy needs to hear this too. Coming to Arizona next for election integrity. We're going to check those ballots, folks. Stand by. And Kristi Noem's going to be there. First Tulsi Gabbard in Georgia, now Kristi Noem. Oh my goodness. We know that John was approached. Well, we know what we think we know. That John was approached by a team of individuals that said he's doing a pretty good job and pretty much have him connected to the Q board. In many ways, pretty interesting.
It's called the Save America Act. We've changed the name. It's the Save America Act.
And then it's the Save America Act. Do you guys know what we're talking about there? Media, just want to make sure we spell it out for you.
Democrats are against it. I heard one of them say, we will stop the Save America Act. No, we're trying to save America. And it has to do with largely voting. And basically, it's got three very simple points. It's got voter ID, photo ID, but voter ID for the photo, right? It's got the confirmation of U.S. citizenship. You have to be a citizen. So you have a vote, you have an ID. That's about a 99% one. And I think 90% with Democrats. Then you have confirmation U.S. citizenship. That's about a 99% one with Republicans, about 86% with Democrats, except Democrat politicians because they cheat on elections. And then you have no mail-in ballots. And there would be no mail-in ballots, very important. We're the only country in the world that does a system like we do. We're the only country in the world that has mail-in ballots. Yeah. The way we do this is unbelievable. It guarantees cheating. So it's no mail-in ballots with the exception of disability, illness, military, or if you're traveling, you can get an exemption. If you happen to be out of the country for a good reason, you can have an exemption. So with exceptions, it's no mail-in ballots. And that will assure the security of our crooked elections. We have crooked elections.
Crooked elections. They have to be reminded over and over and over again. Zeke Arkman said, Democrats, quote, we can't pass the SAVE Act because black folks don't have ID. Black folks say, no, we have ID. All of us. Democrats, well, we can't pass the SAVE Act because women who get married won't have proper ID. Married women say, no, we have ID that matches our new last name. Wasn't an issue. Democrats, well, we can't pass the SAVE Act because poor people don't have access to Kinko's. Poor people. Listen, we're poor, but we ain't that poor. Democrats, you're all supposed to fall in line. You're supposed to fall in line.
You're an American citizen, get ready to vote, and you got to show a dadgum photo ID to vote. And that ID, 213 Democrats used their IDs to vote yesterday. Nobody hollered about racism there. It's just ridiculous, folks. This thing is about corruption. It's about control. And the Democrat Party ought to be ashamed. I mean, it's just pathetic. That's not any way to treat people. We ought to have safe elections. And they are fighting us tooth and nail. Hopefully we can get enough votes in the Senate. It'll happen. I believe Leader Thune is on the right path, getting it there. And our sponsors, Chip Roy and the House, did a great job. We passed it 3 dadgum times. And now the Senate, Senator Mike Lee, I was with him last night at supper, and he's the man. I'm a fan, big time.
Big time. He thinks it's going to pass through. You know, Senator Dave, PA Senator Dave McCormick, but he lit up the Senate floor, demanding passage of the SAVE Act.
Mr. President, I consider myself uniquely qualified when I say that every vote matters. In 2022, I lost my first statewide election in Pennsylvania by 950 votes. That's 14 votes per county. I won my second election in 2024 by 15,000 votes of over 7 million cast. These incredibly narrow races, each of which had electoral issues of their own, show just how important it is that our elections run smoothly, fairly, and only legitimate votes are counted.
And if you don't get up off your ass, you shouldn't be able to vote. It's just flat out. You're fucking old, young, dumb. There's no fucking. You don't walk to the ball. You don't vote. That's it.
If you need a picture ID, then you gotta show your face.
Mistakenly omitted 70,000.
But the thing is, it's a trick because people don't realize the picture ID is really the digital ID.
And an unknown number of unverified
There ain't no telling where that goes.
were cast
In your phone, in your ass,
every single
in your
time
head.
Americans hear about election problems like Chester County, they
Oh,
rightly
deep right
question
there.
the integrity
I had
of
it.
our electoral process. It should not come
Dude,
as
I
no
would've had it,
surprise
but
to
I
us that according to a recent Scripps and Ipsos poll,
Kind of turn the
more
guy's
than
head
half
back
of
up.
Americans, more than half, are concerned about
That's
non-citizens voting.
Yep.
And more than half fear
Not that I
electoral
don't get
fraud.
sacks, but
The bottom
I
line
feel
is
like I
you
got that
cannot,
one was
we
given
cannot
a
stand
little
in this chamber and
bit.
claim
The
there
other
is not
guy
a problem.
really got it. You know,
There
I
is
used
a
to go
problem.
with the last second.
And the people
I
who
had
put
2
us
on
here
there, and then I broke free. And
There
then
you
kinda
go.
Twitched back into
Somebody's
the
making a
fucking
stand.
live.
Then you had Lindell TV trying to talk to Susan Collins, refusing to support the Save America Act.
Now that the Save America Act has passed the House, can we count on you to support it in the Senate?
I'm looking at it that the House made some significant changes. For example, you would not have to prove the citizenship every time
Who
you
votes for
vote.
these idiots?
That's a good change. It makes sense to have
She's
a
just like
requirement
Nancy
the first time
Klobuchar.
you
Right. Amy
register,
Klobuchar.
but not
Can't fucking
every
talk.
time. I've long supported voter ID.
Why should everybody get to vote?
There's some issues on what
Why?
what
Well,
are
because it
federal
affects them.
and what are state.
Because other government
So
affects them.
I'm still
Who leads the
thinking
country affects them
this is a
directly.
work in progress, but it's got to go to the health committee.
Thank you.
But,
So give her a call.
like you said, you gotta show up.
202-224-2523.
Because, dude, it only makes sense because if you're requiring a fucking ID,
Gonna need
a
it.
photo ID,
Maybe into
then that means you need to see a
very
face. You need to see a
interesting
face, and you need
take,
to verify
Mr.
that
Bill,
face.
about Peyton Bondi playing
But
the
don't
greatest
worry,
trap in
trust me,
political
they're gonna
history.
have
You
just
don't
like when you
wanna
walk
sit
in
here.
Walmart and there's a TV right there with a fucking green box on your face. They're gonna have that when you walk
Folks,
into the
many of
polling
us want
station.
our furry
And
best
they
friends.
ain't even have to ask you.
LT Pet Club 247.com are all natural.
Did you see the
USA-made
commercial during
supplements
Super
and
Bowl
treats packed with immune
about
boosting
fucking everybody's ring camera now, whether you like it or not, is going to be used. I don't know if it's whether you like it, but it's going to be. It can be used in emergency to find your lost animal or whatever. Might be missing, a car, person. They claim the pet.
Very, very hard, like 4 60-milligram.
All right, LT Pet Club 24/7. Send me a check.
7 Health for All. The theatrics going on that we shared with you in yesterday's video. Pretty amazing how she was taking down one Democrat at a time. So I went over on X and saw that Mr. Poll posted something. Pam Bondi playing the greatest trap in political history. And Congress walked right into it yesterday, or 2 days ago now. Attorney General Pam Bondi, is it 2 days ago? Yeah, sat before the House Judiciary Committee, standard oversight hearing, routine questions. Then she pulled out a document labeled Jayapal Pramila, Search History. The room was silent. Man, I missed that. I actually missed that. I should have watched closely and catch it. Anyway, here's what happened. The DOJ gave Congress access to the unredacted Epstein files this week. Every member got their own login, their own computer, their own session. What Congress didn't know, the DOJ was tracking every single search.
Damn.
Yeah, they were tracking them. So they gave computer, here you go, you can look up all you want about, the files with Epstein. And
Damn,
the
think about
DOJ,
this
Department
now.
of Justice, they were
Before we
watching
get an answer.
every name.
Dude. They give you a, look, the Epstein, they dropped 3 million files on the Epstein files, right? 3 million pieces of paper, all right? So now, that's a lot to go through, right? It'd be extremely hard to give everybody, whatever. They give you a laptop, with a fucking login and all that of the Epstein, unredacted. So now you can go look up anything you want. What you looking up? Who you looking up? Right? What's on your mind? So they set these niggas up. They gave them all the computers. Say, here, there you go.
That's funny.
Now dude, that's fucking. Dude, now I don't use this word, but that's fucking epic. That's fucking. That even is almost treacherous. That's crazy. I don't know. I think that's
cool. They looked up. So when Jayapal is looking up names, she's typing it in, and they're like, "Oh, look who she's looking up."
Yeah.
Every document they open, she clicked the document, see if are there things in there I need to see. Every file they downloaded, all of it. And Bondi brought the receipts to the hearing. The panic was instant. Representative Jayapal called it, quote, spying on members of Congress. Raskin accused Bondi of blatant abuse of power. Moskowitz said it was suspicious and inappropriate. They're furious. But here's the question nobody in the media is asking. Why are they so scared of their search history?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're searching for evidence of crimes against children, you'd be proud of that search history, unless you're not searching for evidence, unless you're searching for your name. Representative Nancy Mace said, yes, I will confirm DOJ is tracking the Epstein documents members of Congress search for, open, and review.
The DOJ.
I was able to navigate the system today, and I won't disclose how or the nature of how, but confirm the DOJ is tagging all documents members of Congress search, open,
They
and
wanted
review.
the unredacted files. They
Based on
demanded.
how I confirmed this,
There
are timestamps associated with this tracking.
We know Trump's guilty of.
Oh, so it was Trump's. I'm sure Trump was the one
there's
that
more the
had
genius
that
of the
idea.
trap. Think about it.
Came up with
Bondi
that
didn't
idea.
just release the files; she released them on monitored computers. Every congressman
Are they
who rushed
mad?
to search the files
They're
just told the
pissed. They're
DOJ
furious.
exactly
That's funny.
who they're
You
trying
see
to
what he
protect.
called it? Look at.
What?
That's funny.
Oh my goodness! There's more. Is tagging all documents members of Congress search, open, and review.
Every name
Based
they
on
looked
how
up.
I confirmed this, there are timestamps associated with this tracking. Oh my goodness, there's more. The genius of the trap. Think about it. Bondi didn't just release the files, she released them on monitored computers. Every Congress member who rushed to search the files just told the DOJ exactly who they're trying to protect, what names they're worried about, which connections they're trying to verify. The ones searching for flights to the island equal investigators. The ones searching for specific names equal protectors. Bondi now knows who's investigating and who's covering up. And she showed them she knows in front of cameras with a smile. Remember, she was smiling a lot. She was calm. The DHS shutdown is coming, right? It's perfect timing. While Congress panics about their search history, DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, is shutting down Saturday. Democrats blocked the funding bill. House members already left Washington. The same week, Congress gets caught searching Epstein files. They refuse to fund the department that investigates trafficking.
Wow.
They're not defunding DHS to save money. They're defunding it to stop investigation.
Wow.
Connect the dots. Monday, Congress gets Epstein file access. Tuesday, the members frantically search for names. Wednesday, Bondi reveals she tracked everything. Thursday, Democrats block DHS funding, and Friday, the government shutdown begins. 5 days, one pattern, panic. They walked into the hearing thinking they were in control. They walked out knowing Bondi has everything, every search, every name, every cover-up attempt. Logged, documented, weaponized. The hunter became the hunted, and they did it to themselves, dark to light. President Trump chimed in on all of the Pam Bondi fiasco. Democrats saying, you need to turn around and apologize to these victims. Epstein, you need to do it right now. Well, where were you when Garland was running things? We're not asking you about Garland. You're in charge now. Attorney General Pam Bondi under intense fire from the Trump deranged radical leftist lunatics was fantastic at the hearing on the never-ending saga of Jeffrey Epstein, where the one thing that has been proven conclusively, much to their chagrin, was that President Donald J. Trump has been 100% exonerated of their ridiculous Russia type charges. This is from President Trump. Actually, it is the slimeball Democrats, many of them big donors and politicians, that have been proven guilty. Republican loser, sanctimonious rhino Congressman Thomas Massie made a total fool of himself, fighting aimlessly against a hopeless agenda of hate and stupidity, as most clearly stated by his crashing job approval numbers in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, where a military hero opponent, Ed Galrin, is crushing him in the polls. He is now in wacky Liz Cheney territory. Nobody cared about Epstein when he was alive. They only cared about him when they thought he could create political harm to a very popular president who has brought our country back from the brink of extinction, and very quickly at that. In fact, this attempt by the Democrats to take away attention from tremendous Republican success is backfiring badly. Maybe they should focus on their quest to open our borders to the world's greatest criminals, have transgender for everybody, or get men, no matter their size or strength, to play in women's sports. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So good. Ripcord put this out. Says a 40,000 foot view of things I'm seeing right now. The Department of Homeland Security funding expires Friday, the same day the Senate has taken a 10-day recess.
No, she's director.
The
of
Olympics
DOJ.
end on February 22nd. So the day after the Olympics, the Senate's supposed to come back in. Trump said China would be going into Taiwan after the Olympics, back in February of 2022. If it happens after the current Winter Olympics, that would be on 2/23, the same day the Senate comes back. Also, we have all the current Iran optics with the U.S. positioning military assets in the Middle East. These are just a few data points, not saying anything's going to happen, but the next few weeks may be very eventful. Might want to buckle up. Very interesting. Found this pretty interesting too.
Having any meaningful functional impact on ICE because they have unlimited money effectively for right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you're going to punish all of these other parts, the very important parts of our government, TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, and cybersecurity. That's what kind of a statement if we announce to our enemies, like, well, our cybersecurity agency, now we're going to be shut down. If I really want to make a move, that probably makes it better. And then, so is that a accurate statement?
It's a fair assessment, sir. Yes, sir. That's Fetterman, for those listening, from Pennsylvania. He's basically sharing, man, if we shut down the DHS, look what's going to happen to us.
Okay. So now here I am. Here I am, a Democrat, and I think I ran the whole gamut. I met with Secretary Noem, and I've always treated her with respect. I met with her in my office, and I refused, and I never will engage on the kinds of sexist kinds of terms like Ice Barbie from a lot of the left media.
Yeah. Standing up for Kristi Noem, taking care of business the way the Democrats should be operating. It's very interesting how he's flipping like that. And they wanted to fund the ICE program. They wanted to fund everything else. But look at this news story the White House posted about the illegal alien arrested for exploitation of a 13-year-old girl.
She didn't know until this week that the suspect was not a U.S. citizen. Now that she does, she believes justice is deportation.
North Carolina failed to honor ICE detainee.
It's hurtful that my child is a victim and they have this person and let him go.
Farmisha Rose says her daughter was 13 years old when she met this man, 29-year-old Jordan Castillo Chavez. Rose found out when she looked at her daughter's phone.
And then there was this message from this guy. I'm like, who is this? And she's like, oh, that's my friend. I just met him online. And I looked at the messages. There were photos. There were messages that indicated like he was coming to pick her up. And I immediately just like dropped. Like I fainted. Like this is not happening right now.
In March, Pineville police charged Castillo Chavez with indecent liberties and other sex-related charges. He has since of Costa Rica as one of the worst criminal illegal aliens, blaming his release on a failed ICE detainer. I asked the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office to respond. They said ICE made a request for advance notification of his release, but said the agency did not issue an ICE detainer. The Sheriff's Office said they did not notify ICE when Castillo Chavez bonded out because they weren't legally required.
This is serious.
Rose says her own father had committed a crime in the U.S. and was deported back to his country years ago, so she understands the impact and believes it's what Castillo Chavez deserves too.
We need justice. He needs to go. And he needs to enforce it.
I've had enough. Folks, I've had enough of this playing out. Listen to Representative Cohen. Mr. Cohen. The worst of the worst are not the immigrants. Listen to this.
We need people working in the front lines and local law enforcement to protect our citizens from the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst are not the immigrants. The worst of the worst records show are native-born Americans, and they are committing crimes that hurt our citizens and our cities. And you're working against it, and thank you for that. But by trying to get our local law enforcement where we have an undercount of officers in Memphis to leave Memphis and go to work for ICE to deport people is a wrong priority.
Majority of these people coming in are.
Did you hear that? The worst of the worst are native-born Americans, not the illegals. These folks have lost their mind. If you go to Aurora, Illinois, by the way, students are ditching school to protest, you know, the ICE.
Aurora
Well, they're starting to swing on police officers.
You gonna get swung on.
One thug threw a punch at a cop and gets absolutely rocked like a hurricane. You see him on the ground there. We were asked, what's your fatigue meter at right now? Because mine is maxed out.
That's a good song.
It is.
The kids that they're allowing into the streets to protest ICE, they're swinging at cops now, thinking they're going to get by with it. All
people are fed up with the
things
police.
that are playing out
It's more
before
than
our very
just that.
eyes.
People are fed up with the police.
It's enough to make us sick.
'Cause
You know,
they're not-
I
they're
wanted
not
to
policing anymore.
remind
They're
you
fucking
that
revenue generating pirates.
you can send your photos
that are
in
employed by the
wearing our
cities.
gear. And
Leaders
told you
of
in the beginning
cities,
we're going to show you
so they can
pictures
fucking siphon
of
off
patrons
the
wearing
back
it. Just a reminder when you wear gear that a
those
lot of folks will
extortion
walk up
fees
to you,
and put it in their
maybe
own
one or
pocket.
two in your lifetime wearing these, and they're going to be a new friend for you. They say, I watch the show too, and that's happening a lot.
In England right
Here's
now,
more
they're
great pictures of
covering
patriots
up
wearing our gear.
gang rapes. That's where Muslim gangs are going around raping women. One happens every 50 minutes, right? They're covering up the information and the shit, delete video. But a fucking 86-year-old man gets a British man gets charged with fucking littering for fucking spitting a leaf that blew into his mouth out. Yeah, swear to God. Yep.
So here's CNN forced to admit that a majority of Americans think the Democrat Party has gone too far to the left.
The results from that special election, that Democratic primary in the 11th district in New Jersey, speak to a larger point within the Democratic Party, and that is that the far left is significantly more powerful than they once were. This sort of gives the game away here. Democrats who identify as very liberal or conservative. You know, there used to be a lot of conservative Democrats, right? Back in 1999, 26% of Democrats self-identified as conservative. Just 5% said that they were very liberal. It was a smidgen. Now that far left has gained considerably in power. Look at this. Now we're talking about a fifth of Democrats. 21% say they're very liberal. That conservative part of the Democratic Party, adios amigos, goodbye, just 8%. And when you combine the 21% who are very liberal with those who say that they're somewhat liberal, we're talking about 3 in 5 Democrats who identify as either somewhat liberal or very liberal, with the very liberals, the much larger portion of the party. The far left, which used to just be a smidgen within the Democratic Party, has gained considerable power, as you saw in New Jersey's 11th district.
What about Democratic socialists, like the likes of, you've got Bernie Sanders or Zoran Mandani here in New York City? Where is that lineup?
Okay, so on
Where
a
does
separate
that
question,
line
we
up,
essentially,
America?
CNN asked this last year, which was, okay, Democrats who think of themselves as democratic socialists, among all Democrats, including those independents who lean towards the Democratic Party. Look at this. We're talking about a third of all Democrats who identify as democratic socialists. Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mandani are not alone. They are a considerable part of the Democratic base at this point. And more than that, if you look at Democrats under the age of 35, they are nearly half of the Democratic Party. Look at this. 42% of Democrats think of themselves as democratic socialists under the age of 35, just like Zoran Mandani. What happened in New York City is not some aberration, right? It is not something that just happened in New York City. It is something that we are seeing grow within the Democratic Party at this particular point, when we're talking about 42% of Democrats under the age of 35 identifying as democratic socialists, and a third of all Democrats. My goodness gracious.
So if the ideology of the Democratic Party is shifting or changing, how are people feeling about it?
Okay, so we're talking about the Democratic base, right? But what about all Americans, right? How about all voters? Voters who say the Democrats are now too liberal. Look at this percentage. There's 42% in 96, 48% in 2013, now 58% in 2025 of all voters say that the Democratic Party is too liberal. The Democrats are moving to the left, the far left is gaining power, and there could be some electoral repercussions, because what we see right now is voters, the clear majority, say that they are too liberal.
By the time we're done, the Democrat Party will no longer exist. Lindell TV, again, a reporter, went after Yvette Clarke, Democrat.
who thinks voter ID is racist.
You just stated that the SAVE Act is an attack on civil rights and is racist. Could you just explain that further? Because 76% of Black Americans support the SAVE Act, according to CNN.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, we find it racist because at the end of the day, it's targeting Black communities with a cost burden. We've been through this historically, right? Where we've been prohibited from voting because we didn't know how many bubbles were in a soap bar. And so this is just a new iteration
these rich
of that,
motherfuckers go.
and we're very focused on defeating it.
But if 76% of Black Americans support voter ID, then
I don't believe that's 76%.
CNN reported it.
Well, that's
Check out
possible.
the polls.
That's possible.
Okay.
But I do not agree with it.
It's possible, but I don't agree with it. So 76% of the people that I represent that want me to make sure voter ID is there. No, I don't agree with you guys. Look, you put me in power. I'm not going to do what you asked me to do. I'm going to do my own thing.
But I seen that.
And this is why we're here. This is why all of this is going on. Listen to Tom Homan.
In addition to taking public safety threats off the street,
but it was more
ICE
depth than that.
here in this state have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children. Children that the last administration lost and weren't even looking for.
Yep.
That's because of the leadership of President Trump.
360?
I'm going to do what you asked me to do. I'm going to do my own thing. Oh, man. And this is why we're here. This is why all of this is going on. Listen to Tom Homan.
In addition to taking public safety threats off the street, ICE here in this state have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children. Children the last administration lost and weren't even looking for.
Yep.
That's because the leadership of President Trump's children were located.
They lost
Can you
like
imagine?
40,000 kids.
Children lost. Can you imagine the families that were looking for them and found them? How they feel today? I'd like to see just a.
That could affect.
It'd be
like
awesome to have like
20,000
maybe a YouTube
lives,
site or
20,000
social media every time another
Because
child
double that
returns to
triple.
their
They got
family was
grandparents,
lost.
got parents, got
Almost
siblings.
3,000 of those bad boy videos
How many
to the
lives
public
that
and
can
play them
ripple?
over and over again at the, in front of the mainstream media. Caroline Lovett would be great if you did something like that. Joe Lang said it's always been about the children. Remember the drop 153 on the keyboard for the coming days ahead? Ask yourself the question, why would a billionaire who has it all, fame, fortune, a warm and loving family, friends, etc., want to endanger himself and his family by becoming the president of the United States? Why would he want to target himself and those he cares about? Does he need money? Does he need fame? What does he get out of this? Does he want to make the U.S. world a better place for his family and or for those good and decent people who have been long been taken advantage of?
That was first drive of
Perhaps
the
he
day.
cannot stomach the thought of mass murders occurring to satisfy Moloch. Perhaps he could not stomach the thought of children being kidnapped, drugged, and raped while leaders, law
funny,
enforcement of
I
the world
played
turned
that
a blind
ran
eye. Perhaps he was tired of
50
seeing how certain
times
races
in
and
here
countries
alone.
were being constantly abused and kept in need, poor, and
Funny, I never
suffering,
ran.
all for a specific purpose.
That play.
Perhaps he could not in good conscience see the world burn. Trump willingly takes all the slings and arrows on a daily basis because he knows that he's fighting a real war for the children in the world's future. It's never been about politics. So remember those children missing, I believe in Minnesota. Keith Ellison was acting like a fool in front of Bernie Moreno.
In the country illegally, or you overstay a visa, should you be deported?
My simple answer is, sir, it depends.
Okay, so if somebody breaks into your home, should they be arrested for breaking and entering, or does it depend?
It's an entirely different scenario.
How's that?
Because immigration is essentially civil, and then breaking into my home is a criminal matter.
Oh, okay, got you. So if there's laws that should be enforced, so we shouldn't enforce civil violations?
We absolutely should enforce them.
But you just said that it's a civil matter, so it's different. So if somebody
you enforce
it's
civil matters.
So if somebody commits a civil infraction, it shouldn't be enforced?
It should be.
Okay, so they should be deported.
No, they should have due process that is associated with their petition.
So,
for example,
so the act of entering the country illegally,
They don't have due
you think
process.
we should say, well, did you really do it or not do it? It's pretty obvious that they did, right?
Well, I mean, it would depend on the facts of the situation. And then they
Depending on
might
the
say
facts, they're here, dumbass.
Right.
Entered into the country without permission.
But Senator, what if they had a good faith basis to say they would be persecuted in their home country and subjected to real oppression there under international law? There are provisions for them to make a case.
That's a phenomenal point. Mexico and Canada, do you consider those to be safe countries or not?
Generally, I do, but there are certain
generally you do?
Oh, Senator Moreno, great job. You're being nice. You're talking calm. And he comes up and he answers a question. He comes back, answers a question. Before you know it, he's caught in a pickle. The liar that he is.
He's a Muslim.
Senator Hawley
I
had
talked
his
about him 10 years
day
ago.
with and against Keith Ellison, the candidate for Minnesota Attorney General and Deputy Chair of the Democrat National Committee. If you're looking at your screen, he did this to his girlfriend. You guys remember?
That's what Muslims
Democrats
do.
don't want to talk about this. I'm going to show you the takedown of Moreno by Senator Hawley in a moment. But first, let's look at some facts and figures that Hawley brings up with Seema Spooner. Ready?
Your organization specializes in following nonprofit funding and organizational networks. So based on your research, what organizations have been active on the ground in Minnesota?
No bumping lately. Bumping the gums.
Yes, we have tracked over $60 million, according to the latest 990 disclosures, to approximately 14 groups, some of them national, others on the ground. Groups like the ACLU provide the legal defense, as well as facilitate the trainings for some of the tactics that Senator Corrin just described. A group named Democracy Forward, Take Action Minnesota has gotten over $10 million from these large NGO networks, including the Neville Roy Singham Network, Indivisible, National Lawyers Guild, CTUL, the Council on American Islamic Relations Minnesota, CARE, Minnesota 350, Voices for Racial Justice, on and on. Like I said, over $60 million just according to the latest 990 disclosures.
$60 million, at least 14 different groups. That sounds like a pretty broad ecosystem here. Where's this money coming from? I mean, how's it flowing to these groups? Do you have any sense?
So we've built a database that contains hundreds of thousands of rows from grants from networks like the Soros Network, the Arabella Funding Network, as mentioned, the Neville Roy Singham Funding Network, many others, Tides, the Ford Foundation Network, the Rockefeller Funding Network, these massive NGOs that have billions of dollars to spend on all kinds of coordinated protest or, in this case, riot activity.
Pretty amazing that Seema Spooner is able to list these names, the Soros, the Rockefeller, all these names just dropping. Doesn't have to worry about his life.
Because what happens is all these
$60 million
they donate their money to these
Soros
groups.
Network, Arabella Funding
in the
Network,
hopes that they'll put it to
Roy
the right
Seaman
use.
Funding Network, Tides, the Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Funding Network.
And now
it's amazing, right? Because you wouldn't see those names
don't know
pop
which
up
dollar came from where.
10, 15, 20
They
years ago
donated to
because
fucking
they were all protected and they were
Joe
paying everybody
Biden
off.
and
They're not allowed to bring up this stuff. Well, they're doing it now. It makes you wonder if now the disclosure phase is happening and they don't have to worry about what's going to happen to their life if they bring up these names, because that's what these folks did, right? They took you out.
They put some shit in there.
You accidentally
Ooh, that's cool if they put Lucifer race in there, because it would glow in the dark.
Remember, the takedown from Senator Hawley
Look,
and
that's what
Keith
he did to
Ellison
his
is
bitch.
coming up.
Look,
Have you been dealing with nagging
he
pain,
missed that.
restless nights, constant stress?
What do you tell to a bitch with two black eyes?
Nothing. She already told twice.
Yeah, she's been told twice. So if she only got one, she's been a good girl.
Pages/AWK today. Use code
learned
OG
her
to take the
lesson
first
quick.
step.
Who's
towards
that
feeling
pig
better
over there on the right
naturally,
with a
because
white
we
hat?
know better.
Fuck that way.
We do better. Order now.
You're
Mr.
other
Russell,
right.
let me start with you. You're the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota.
Oh, where'd that ball go? Chucked him right in the rib.
Is he yes?
Yeah, you fucking stuck to
You're not going to answer my questions. Are we going to start this way? Are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota? Yes or no?
You know the answer.
Justin, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You're Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Minnesota? Yes or no? Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? Are you familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did, because it's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's take a look. You said, it's not a question, you said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names. And I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who's investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who are investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please. We're all ears.
So, first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help them?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help?
You let me answer, and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth, and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help?
Now, see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it
or whatever the fuck you said.
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you.
I have my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift your finger to prosecute them. No, you did not.
No, because it was a federal
prosecution. You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about,
sir. No, sir. You now encounter the jury.
No, yeah, because you own the
take their money.
That's
take their money.
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
You can't sit there and say that's a false statement.
Here's what happened. They went to your office. They solicited money from you. They
Why did
solicited
you
help
say
from you. They came to your office. It was your official office. You met with them for 54 minutes. They asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked about. Money, 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 money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are securing your donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way, and you said, give me the specifics, and 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your report.
So they continue to go back and forth over and over. And then he reads this.
Minnesota Keith Ellison, AG, accepted campaign donations from individuals linked to the $250 million COVID fraud scheme after they were in your office. The donations came on December 20th.
Sir,
you met with them on December the 11th, and on January 20th, the FBI knocked over their headquarters.
No.
That's the sequence of events here.
No, it's not.
You've been right at the center of this fraud thing from the beginning, and you've been able to. And sir, you should resign.
And sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Resign.
He's in trouble. It's being pointed out to the public, but I think he should have been arrested on the spot. That's the problem I have with some of this screaming and yelling and smirking and more. Senator Johnson was really upset also.
A tragedy was going to happen, and you encouraged it. And you ought to feel damn guilty about it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now he's smirking for those not looking. He's smirking back at Johnson.
Yeah, sit there and smirk. Sick. It is despicable.
Are you asking me for comment, Senator? Because everything you said was untrue. It was a nice theatrical performance, but it was all lies.
Senator Hassan.
That's all you can say. Nuh-uh.
Disgusting. Johnson's
That's all you can say.
having a fit.
Nuh-uh.
Haven't really seen him like that before. Arrest all four in Minnesota would be nice. Waltz, Juan Omar, Keith Ellison. You know, they all have Frey as his Ellison, Omar.
They all got
No!
Hands caught in the cookie
Oh, get
jar.
out of here.
And we've had enough. Trump is now ending the green news scam.
But I'm pleased to be joined today by EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who you all know, and to announce the single largest deregulatory action in American history. That's a big statement in American history, and I think we can add the words by far. Under the process just completed by the EPA, we are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding, a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for American consumers. Prices went up incredibly for a worse product. This action will eliminate over $1.3 trillion of regulatory costs and help bring car prices tumbling down dramatically. You're going to get a better car. You're going to get a car that starts easier, a car that works better for a lot less money.
A lot less money. Always saving money.
And as we're ending the federal government's push to get manufacturers to install that Obama switch. The almost universally despised start-stop feature. There will be no more climate participation trophies awarded to manufacturers for making Americans' cars stop at every red light and stop sign. It's over. Done. Finished.
It's about time. They're going to be saving $1.2 trillion. So how is the mainstream media responding to the saving of money and the new green scam and all the lies from the quote-unquote scientists that are out there? President Trump's finally doing something about it. Well, listen to the media, and they're obviously she's been to a liberal, very liberal, leftist type of probably college, or she's been given the questions by the folks that are upset because they're going to lose all their money. Who knows?
Americans who are concerned that the $1.3 trillion in savings does come at a cost to public health and the environment based on science.
What do you think about all those Americans concerned about that $1.3 trillion they're saving? I mean, I think they really wanted to spend it to protect their lives because of science. More mental words, please.
I tell them don't worry about it because it has nothing to do with public health. That this was all a scam, a giant scam. This was a ripoff of the country by Obama and Biden. And that's how Obama started, and he got it growing. And a terrible ripoff. They'll have more money to spend for health.
I wanted to float it, you know, so I tried to throw a nice little top off because he was coming across the fucking middle. You know what I'm saying? Trying to float it. No! I barely even touched it. It's almost like
before that falling, you know, we were.
They're going to be fine.
Ooh.
They're not sitting at home every day wondering, man, I wonder how the green scam's going. Does anybody sit around the dinner table and any of you guys say, hey, guys, let's talk about clean energy today? You know what we do talk about when it comes to the clean, quote-unquote, energy? I'm doing the quotes in the air thing. This is what we talk about at the dinner table.
I'm trying to loft one over that.
We drove across the country,
I'm trying to do it. I know dude's coming for
giant
breaks free.
windmill things
Susie makes his cut.
Supposedly
saving, while
and it's just
still,
ruining the view.
Dude rode right by him.
Beautiful view across the United States of America, that drive, and all you see is hundreds of those stupid things in the air. How about all of those? Like sometimes you drive down the freeway and you look over to the left or right and you see the solar panels taking up.
Look at
watch
him hit a brick wall.
Oh, it's
right
supposed
there.
to be done
out
for
there.
us. Where's the grass?
Bam.
The dead birds go over that. Birds fly over
Zoom in
and
and turn the angle.
direct
He hit the
hit
guard.
that gets them, just like you did with the when you had ants. Remember, we had to take your little plan over there with the sun, and you shine it down, and you pierce the ants when we were kids. Same thing's happening with those to the birds. No, they don't want to talk about all that.
Where she said that's where he's starting his slant out there.
Now let's get into some Epstein stuff.
The
greatest scandal
about
Epstein is in 2007. In 2008, the George W. Bush Justice Department had a chance to shut down Epstein forever, for good.
That's what that is. Yep.
And prosecutors in Palm Beach area gave him
I thought I was watching the guy in the back.
Prosecution charge, and he
That's
basically
who I
walked
thought
off
I
and
was throwing to.
continued
And it
for
wasn't a
another
bullet, it
10
was
years.
just a fucking
It's
touch
hard
pass.
to
I was trying to
lose
get a little
sight
touch
of that.
pass over the
2007 and 8 is the
over the
tragedy
fucking
that
the
nobody
herd.
really talks about very often. But it is
I didn't realize dude ran 5 yards off the fucking out the way. I'm thinking I'm watching Diggs cut across the fucking field. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting him to delay to be, that's a second, at least a second.
Some more on this.
So you're throwing it based on timing?
Look what happened on NBC News. Supposedly the victims of Epstein will show up.
I was a little embarrassed to see that she couldn't
make sure they're
say
wide open.
sorry to us.
Talking about Bundy. How come she couldn't say sorry? See how they lined it up? First they bring him in, then they tell her to turn around and say sorry to the victims. And they didn't make Mark Garland do that. They didn't do it under Obama, nothing like that. We're going to do it. We're going to force Bondi to do it and make her look bad. And then we're going to go on NBC and just talk about how terrible Bondi is.
She sat there in the beginning. She said sorry for what Jeffrey Epstein did to us, but yet she couldn't apologize what she did to us, what her department did to us, right? It's like you had one job was to redact our names, to respect our privacy. But yet you carefully took the time to redact all these powerful rich men. So, it's like, is it your department that can't keep up with, are you guys being sloppy? What's going on here? It's what we wonder every day. Where did it go wrong? And then I think we all realize now, you guys really wanted to silence us. And you thought that you could scare us by putting our names out there. And to be honest with you, we've been through worse. This is nothing for us. If anything, this encourages us to speak more and not to be silenced. So we like to set the record here. If there are more files to be released, which we hope that these files that are released, they need to be, the men that are, the perpetrators that we did know about and that are out there now, they need to be investigated, and we cannot fail to do that as the United States of America.
So happy, so smiley, so filled with joy. These people that were somehow part of the Epstein saga. So I'm going to read you some comments underneath this video, the first ones that I read. Just a girl from Texas said you would think that if you wanted your name redacted, you wouldn't be on national television confirming it was you in the files. It's weird. Patricia Griffin said, I am all for justice, yet I can see why this could be considered a hoax. They were on TV with Massey and MTG before the recent batch of files were released, and here they are again. If these women and men know who they are accusing, start a case. Something's not adding up. Objective Interlocutor said, it's enough already with these women. They go out in front of cameras, then complain their names appear in print. They worked as prostitutes but claimed victimhood. When presented for, the opportunity, they took megabucks rather than hold out for prosecution. Get lost already. Wait, now we're for redacting? I'm so confused. What? Redact our names, protect their privacy, and then go on TV? Help me understand. And then the name Howard Lutnick came up because he was in the files.
No, I wasn't aware of it. No, I didn't. I actually haven't spoken to him about it. I wasn't. But from what I hear, he was there with his wife and children. And I guess in some cases, some people were. I wasn't. I was never there. Somebody was simply to say that.
You snooze, you lose.
There. Yeah, please.
Interesting. So, makes you wonder. Howard Lefman's name's on there, but you know what? There's a lot of information. A lot of names are throughout the files. And doesn't mean that they're all guilty or they've all done something wrong. Did you guys even know the Disney cruise was taken to Epstein Island? Does that mean everybody that was on the Disney cruise did something wrong? So again, you have to be careful. The media's going to use anything they can. Anna Paulina, Luna. It has become very apparent that Jeffrey Epstein was grooming some of his victims to become traffickers. Some of the most horrifying emails being widely circulated are not from men, but from women who claim to be victims. Hence some of the redactions. Once you turn 18, if you're still engaged in trafficking children, that's a choice. At that point, you're no longer a victim. You're a co-conspirator. To be clear, not all victims are guilty of this. However, it's a fact that some of them are. Yes, you heard that right. Some of the women claiming to be victims helped traffic children.
That's
the
what,
FBI
that's what he
named
was
some
supposed
of
to
the
write.
women
That's
who
what he
were
wrote.
given
He ran
military status
15 times. He ran 15 times already today.
They took plea deals for testifying. Some of the names redacted in those emails are allegedly victims who were helping Epstein traffic additional child victims. And remember, Epstein had an email received from somebody in 2014. Representative Anna Paulina Luna put this out, written by a woman, alleged victim. Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. Also, you know, all over the news has been Savannah Guthrie. Interesting because her husband's company is listed as a co-conspirator in the Epstein files, FGS Global. In case you're wondering why now all the times for Savannah Guthrie's mother to be kidnapped, Savannah Guthrie is in the Epstein files. She is linked to the Clintons. Her husband's name is Michael Feldman. He was the scrubber, that is, the guy who got things harmful to the Clintons from the press off the internet, out of the public eye. He founded a PR consulting firm with Joe Lockhart. Joe Lockhart was Bill Clinton's White House press secretary. After Lockhart left government, he became a senior partner for the Glover Park Group, which was co-founded by Feldman. Joe Lockhart sold his D.C. property at 2446 Belmont Road in D.C., and Glover Park then made Greg Rothschild the managing director of the group's government affairs division. Rothschild's wife, Stephanie Hersowitz, Rothschilds died in a bizarre traffic accident in 2021. Down the rabbit hole we go. Also, former Obama White House counsel Kathy Rumler just resigned from Goldman Sachs after newly released Epstein files exposed her frequent chummy communications with the pedo financier. Emails show she called him Uncle Jeffrey, accepted lavish gifts, downplayed his crimes, and even described him as an older brother. She's out as chief legal officer effective June 30, 2026, citing the distraction, quote unquote, from the fallout. Another one. Oh, man. You know what, guys? We got a video coming out tomorrow, interview with Dr. Kirk Elliott. We're going to go over silver riding double waves, most violent repricings in history, and we're bringing silver to record highs by summer. And there's some calculations that silver could get to up to $200. He had me play a video of this guy, and I tell you what, it's very interesting. I believe it's Michael Oliver, how these predictions are playing out. And guys, I'm telling you, get in there now. AndWeKnow.com/gold. Get your IRAs over. Ours has already tripled in value. Or buy some silver from it. It'd be pretty cool to see that play out for all of you. So don't forget, that will be out tomorrow.
Was it something he said? Probably. Bad Bunny lost millions of viewers during his halftime performance, which you may remember was in Espanol. The crowd didn't comprende either. According to the numbers, Bad Bunny lost a record slice of Super Bowl viewers during halftime, but it also could have been that people turned it off because the game sucked. Did you like the Bad Bunny half?
And so, Listen to this.
What made it
You know what I
suck?
think is so amazing? No, I didn't like it. And
Drake
as I said at the
May's
time,
cupcake,
there was zero words
Drake
spoken in
May's
English, so I thought I
cupcake
was watching
fucking
Joe Biden's speech.
lead
It gave me
cupcake
flashbacks
fucking
to the State
run
of the
to the
Union. But
Super
is it not
Bowl
amazing that
was
Bad Bunny
exposed
the
by a
Grammys
team that
bashing
had no
ICE? A
mercy?
week later, he deported
Oh
6 million
fucking,
viewers.
the real motherfucking McCoy. Got his ass handed to him.
Oh,
Hardcore.
that was so good. Now, let's get a little bit more insight on
It's all staged to me.
what was played out in front of the eyes. And, I like to see stuff like this where somebody breaks down what the enemy was trying to do in everybody's brain during that halftime show.
Down a little bit, shall
All strange. He like held
This
on. He
year's
like.
logo is the same colors as the no signal
Let's see
broadcast.
if he drops the
Estes
ball.
foreshadowing. Power lines sparking and cutting off. Are you following me so far? It looks like we are to follow the white rabbit, or in this case, Bad Bunny who's wearing all white. Through the rabbit hole we go. The dancers are making a circle around him, same as, let's say, a rabbit hole.
Look.
Through a rabbit hole, we end up where? An alternate universe.
Come on.
No.
What? Yeah, I know. I know what I do.
What's this guy doing? I'm gonna get no.
Why you didn't die? You saying?
He just like was like, all right, I'll hold up. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, you don't want to let me escape either. Because if you don't hold that corner,
down.
Just the floor pattern. Other dancers here are making the same design. So many
They
similarities so
don't even run the same pattern no more. So funny.
We are to follow the white rabbit, or in
They
this
just
case,
all fucking.
Bad Bunny who's wearing all
They
white.
all
Through the
herd to
rabbit
the
hole
right.
we go.
They all herd to the right, and then
The dancers are
don't come
making a
across the
circle
fucking
around
field.
him, same as, let's say,
All they gotta do
a
is
rabbit hole.
plant the right plants out into the right place, and my guys have to run around them.
Notice the floor pattern. Other dancers here are making the same design. So many similarities so far.
Just like Alice in Wonderland, in case you guys are listening instead of watching, he's making correlations that they're doing just like Alice in Wonderland.
Around him, same as, let's say, a rabbit hole. Through a rabbit hole, we end up where? An alternate universe. Notice the floor pattern. Other dancers here are making the same design.
the checkerboard.
So many similarities so far.
Just like Alice in Wonderland, in case you guys are listening instead of watching, he's making correlations that they're doing just like Alice in Wonderland.
Drinking the potion will definitely alter your reality.
Oh shit! Willie May stop! Willie May stop! What a fucking play! The play
There
of
was
the
a
fucking
hedge maze that
season!
was on the field.
Here's where it gets twisted like a
I can't
maze.
dictate how
Alice and her
short or how
potential
big. I
husband.
can
Did you
dictate
notice
how
Gaga
soft I
and
throw it
Bad
or
Bunny's
how high.
outfits? Very similar.
Very
Where
similar.
where
So their
dude
outfits
wants
were
to
just
throw
like
it, where they want to
Alice in
let
Wonderland.
throw
It's
it.
kind of interesting.
That's not
Notice Gaga and Bad Bunny's outfits. Very similar. Alice did not want to marry, so she ran off chasing the rabbit. But in this realm, there was a wedding. Here you can see Gaga crowning Bad Bunny. Maybe now we'll have a new Queen of Hearts.
Interesting, huh? Just some side items thought you guys might be interested in. Also, here's a woman with Gavin Newsom in California scolding reporters about not talking about the joys of taking babies and getting rid of them.
No, we just find it incredulous that we have Planned Parenthood here, and women are 51% of the population, and the majority of the questions, all of these questions, have really been about other issues. So it's just fascinating. You have this incredible women's caucus and all these allies, and you're not asking about it. And this happens over and over and over and over again. You wonder why we have such a horrific war on women in this country, and that these guys are getting away with it because you don't seem to care. So I just offer that.
Incredulous.
With Gavin Newsom in California scolding reporters about not talking about the joys of taking babies and getting rid of them.
No, we just find it incredulous that we have Planned Parenthood here. And women are 51% of the population. And the majority of the questions
What does incredulous mean?
About other issues. So it's just fascinating. We have this incredible Women's Caucus and all these allies, and you're not asking about it. And this happens over and over and over and over again. You wonder why we have such a horrific war on women in this country, and that these guys are getting away with
Unwilling,
it. Because you
unable
don't
to
seem to care.
believe something.
So I just offer that with love.
Oh, you're so proper.
Unbelievable. But you have incredible women in this room, and you have these allies.
You are so fancy.
What we're here for today, don't you think?
She's upset because they're not talking about the joy.
How long have you been waiting to use that word?
Eliminating children
Is that
before
a
they're born.
Jeopardy word?
We should be excited about that.
Incredulous.
That's how much
I'm so incredulous.
lost their minds there.
Yeah, right.
California. Go across New York City. Guess what? Drug tents are now popping up across Zoran Mondami's New York
I
City
wonder
with
how
drugs
you
being
would
sold
use it
openly.
in the first person.
Prices boldly displayed and police doing nothing.
How would you use the word incredulous in first?
Nothing at all. Then I saw
It
this
was so
clip
egregious
from a
how it was
19-year-old, Kaylee
incredulous
Bush.
to me.
She was
Yeah,
stripped
I
of
doubt
her
it.
Miss
That's
Florida title
incredulous.
because she had
I don't
biblical
believe it.
beliefs on
That's
gender and sexuality.
You were
No,
looking
you
to
would've said
compete for Miss America, but
incredulous.
they took your Florida crown
It's a
off
one-word
you
statement.
because you made statements about sort of transgender.
Incredulous.
Yes, that is exactly right.
As your jowl.
I was asked to
As
sign
Bill
a
Burr would
contract
say, your
that
jowl.
was different than the first one that I had agreed to because they had changed it
Just
4 weeks
right.
after I rightly won. And so I didn't lose my crown because I
She
broke
didn't
a rule.
lose it.
I lost the crown because I was unwilling to rewrite the truth.
And
You're not ready,
were you
though.
super upset, obviously, when you lost your crown and then Miss Chili's America reached out to you and said, hey, we will honor you?
Yes, it was
And they didn't get
heartbreaking.
it.
It was confusing. It was disappointing because Miss America has been honoring women for over 100 years, and now they can't even define what a woman is. And heartbroken. It was a lot of soul searching, but God uses all things for good, and here I am.
What were the circumstances? She said God uses all things for good, just like Romans 8:28.
For those who believe.
That's what we call
For
it.
those
We
who
know all
believe.
things work together for good to those who love the Lord,
Yeah.
to those who are the called according to
Who
His
believe.
purpose. And the Lord will take care of her. She stood for the truth. And I've
Believe
got many
means-
times where I
believe
mentioned that
means
in my
trust.
book,
Trust
just
means love.
over and over again, standing for Christ
one
when
word.
things seemed impossible or difficult. And
Yes,
in
I
the
love
end,
the Lord. The
everything
Lord is
worked
ball.
out. She's going to be just fine. It's going to be great. And while all this is
all
playing out,
victory
trying to
through
control
death,
her,
the
getting
word
rid of
gave.
her crown because she supports Christ, it's interesting to remember that we're fighting against an invisible enemy.
Yeah.
And this guy went on Joe Rogan and talked
he
about
says
what we're up
fighting
against. And
against
remember,
flesh
millions
and
of
blood,
people are
but against
listening to this.
spiritual
When you look
powers,
at your
spiritual
total
wickedness,
conspiracy
high powers.
catalog of things that you like to dive into, outside of aliens, because everybody knows that, what are your other ones that you like?
Well, aliens is the most fun one.
Yeah.
This is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Because the fear of, we talked about this yesterday with Roger Avery, the fear of these, like, literally demonic human beings that are running the world and enjoy watching people being tortured, enjoy watching people killed, participating in ritual sacrifice of people, and they do it in order to show that you're a part of a team. We know that has always historically been a real thing, and it's been something that you look at in history, you go, God, it's so sick, it's so twisted, it's so disgusting, and everybody wants to thank God that's not happening now. But then when you realize, like, that might have been happening now.
When you look at your... Interesting that even Joe Rogan would talk about something in a biblical fashion and realize it. My hope is that someday he would come to know Jesus Christ as a Savior, the free gift of eternal life. With all this playing out, we're watching the end of the old guard. And I found it very interesting that Marco Rubio brought this somewhat up on the tarmac.
The world is changing very fast right in front of us. The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era in geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be. And we've had many of these conversations in private with many of our allies. We are our allies. and need to continue to have those conversations. And I think Saturday, hopefully, and the meetings we'll have there will move us in that direction.
Very interesting. Because he posted this, it was posted by his office at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I looked at number 8 and I thought, very interesting. I'll read it, some of it, just to make sure we have an understanding of this. POTUS installed his people within each top spot at each 3-letter agency except one. Do you think they are in control of those respective agencies? A reorganization is underway and happening. Did you hear what Marco Rubio said? Hey, that old system's gone.
You usually got the answer. You answer, man.
That's a fumble. So
why are Senate Republicans dropping out? Not by choice and more often a choice. Rest assured, they will vote pro-Trump. I think it was a message.
That's how they should.
They posted it at the right time, so we read this drop and realize, guess what? Guess what? What is most valuable, folks? Information.
They should have
who has control of the 3-letter agencies?
Too.
We do.
So like you're different, but then there's
wake-up calls happening day after day after day.
Bam!
Let's continue to stay alert.
For nothing is hidden that shall not be made
I had a
manifest.
stack of plates.
Neither anything hidden that shall not be made and come abroad.
Let's pray, Heavenly Father, once again, we come before your throne. We're so thankful for all that you continue to do through our lives. We thank you for your grace and mercy on us. We don't deserve all of the things that you provide in our lives each day, but we want to thank you for what you're doing, for how you've assigned leaders to destroy the enemy, how you've brought calm and peace in the middle of this storm in our own lives. Thank you for helping us talk to our neighbors, our friends, and so much more. We definitely could not be here or do anything that we do without you. We ask for continued protection over those in the front lines, those that we're probably never going to hear about, that are fighting clear enemies that are out there trying to destroy everything that's happening. These folks that are being exposed may be arrested and brought before the public eye to show exactly what they've done. And as hard as it's going to be, Heavenly Father, prepare our nation and the world for what's about to be exposed.
The strength of the cars.
The evil against our children.
That looks, that's what that is, right? I mean, I'm not seeing it
wrong.
This
is all being exposed to provide a foundation
that definitely looks
to put a stop to all of this in the future.
That's an awful course.
We thank you for your love and your support and your guidance and everything that we say and do. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray.
Did you ever watch that whole movie Beastmaster?
And amen. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support.
I'm going to watch it.
It's been wonderful to get your messages, hear your prayers, hear from you, and your prayers of support from our team.
One time.
Absolutely amazing. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. For now, this is LT Semper Firebrand. We know.
Do that remote viewing, the astral projection.
Here today are issuing a new decree to be heard in every city, in every foreign capital, and in every hall of power. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
But it does the 3-6. And then it's 1. 66, 61. That's 2. And he's all Blue State. He's with Palantir, and the owner of Palantir's name is Peter Thiel. And if you rearrange Peter Thiel's fucking name, it says the fucking reptile. What's the coincidence? Whoever thought it was moon.
Another threat to national security is emerging at the southern border after new alleged threats from the cartel, apparently calling for direct attacks on border.
When our son was diagnosed with his rare condition,
think is the playbook.
Another threat to national
Does the
security is
playbook
emerging
stay?
at the
No,
southern
unless you
border
change it
after
back.
new alleged threats
now we
from
gotta
the
do it.
cartel.
Gotta
Apparently
change it
calling for
every time.
direct attacks on Border Patrol agents, not just with weaponized drones.
So, as President Trump locks
Right? Oh, no,
down
it should
America's
stay.
border,
Yeah, it should-
Mexico's
it should stay,
cartels
'cause it's in
are
the
trying
settings,
to
not in game.
reopen it. And their plan
can't do it
revolves
anymore.
around taking out the brave men and women tasked with keeping them out. At the exact same time, President Trump's made it clear he's got no issue wiping out thugs in Mexico if they even lift a finger against the U.S., which these desperate cartels have decided is now their only option.
Yeah, I mean, the border right now is essentially secure, so this is kind of out of desperation. One of Mexico's most violent cartels is ordering these direct attacks on law enforcement down here at the borders.
The idea that drones can be used to circle law enforcement substations, to do things that are known for criminal activity, the idea that you're going to use a drone, fly it over the border from Mexico, drop a package, or kind of guide human traffickers in the way in which they should go so they don't get